Welcome into the Warzone Sports Network live NFL mock draft. We got a great show for you, jam-packed with drafters, experts, everybody from this network. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's get it. Like I said, welcome into the Warzone Sports Network live NFL mock draft. Hang on one second. Ladies and gentlemen, the number one pick is already in. Can you believe this? Urban Meyer has traded the first pick for Dwayne Haskins in a reunion. Now, just kidding. In this draft, we are actually going to skip that pick because we all know that it is Trevor Lawrence. And it's not close. So we're not even going to go that route. We will start at number 2. Let's go ahead. We're going to meet all of our drafters one by one, and you're going to find out the teams that they are taking. Let's start with Mike on the mic.
What's up, everyone? Mike here. Maybe I'm not. Oh, I'm here now. I'm representing the Warzone Sports Network, Friday Night Wars. Welcome to the Warzone, of course. I'm excited to get to picking. I'm going to be drafting for the Cincinnati Bengals at pick number 5 overall. The Dallas Cowboys, them boys, Dak Prescott. You guys may know me as the biggest Dak Prescott fan on the planet. At 10 overall, be drafting for my Los Angeles Chargers at 13 overall. And then I got to wait about 3 hours until my next pick with the Jaguars at 25. And then I take the Bills with 30 to close it out. I'm excited for it. And one of these 5 teams are going to the Super Bowl next year. Let's hope it's the Chargers.
I'm excited to see how Jerry Jones is going to ruin that pick. Let's move things along to Joe Morley. Who you drafting, Joseph?
What's going on, everybody? Joe Morley. You guys already know me. I got the number 4 pick. I got the number 4 pick with the Atlanta Falcons. I got the number 14 with the Minnesota Vikings, which is going to be kind of interesting there. Of course, I got my Raiders at number 17. You guys already know I don't know. I might pull an Al Davis move, just draft the fastest guy in the league or in the draft right now. And then I'll wait a little bit and I'll take the Baltimore Ravens. We'll go there. But you guys already know I'm on the Friday Night Wars. I represent the Welcome to the Warzone and Friday Night Wars. So, yeah.
Joe, we cannot wait for you to draft Darius Hayward-Bay Jr. with the Raiders pick. Let's move on to Kevin Banks, a.k.a. Piggy Bank Picks.
What's going on, everybody? Warzone Sports Network, and I'm representing the show that's coming up real soon, the Fantasy Football Boot Camp. And I'll be drafted for my Miami Dolphins at the 6th overall pick. Hopefully it's at a Ted Ginn Jr. And then we're going to follow up with the Eagles at 12 from that trade, and rolling down with the Bears and at the 20th. And we got the 28th pick also with Who Dat Nation, the Saints. And we're going to cap it off with the Chiefs at the 31st pick.
Thank you, Kevin. I can't wait to keep that rich tradition alive of the Bears still never having a quarterback. So that'll be fun to see. Let's move things along over here to Rio. Who you got, brother?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? I'm Rio from the Zoned In podcast. I have the Lions at 7, my Miami Dolphins and Piggy's Miami Dolphins at 18, the Pittsburgh Steelers at 24, and the Green Bay Packers at 29.
All right, the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, by the way, the only team that was like super unexcited about a 17th game. All their fans are like, this better not mess up hunting season. That's all I know. Because, we don't need to lose any more than we already do. I'm a Michigander. I can make fun of them. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my man from Bolstered Up Sports, Brian Bolster. Talk to the people.
Yep, here representing Sports Force from the Warzone Sports Network. And I've got my new favorite team, the Carolina Panthers with the 8th overall pick. I've got the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, and that former dynasty at 15th overall. The Washington football team with no name at 19. my Tennessee Titans, my real favorite team, at 22nd overall. And then I've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Tom Brady Gronkaneers, at 32, reigning Super Bowl champions, going for a back-to-back. So I'm excited about it.
Oh, man, I forgot to announce everybody. Brian Bolster, the vice president of the Tom Brady fan club. He sits next to Julian Edelman at all the meetings. Let's move on to, I'm showing a little love for my next guy here, Joe Skirdo, who's a Jets fan. I got my old Favre jersey up there. Joe, what do you got for these folks?
Let's go. Love the Favre jersey. Yep, here with Sports Force as well with Brian. So obviously I got my Jets at 2-23. I got the Giants, unfortunate, but at 11, that'll be an interesting pick. And I'll close it out at 21 with the Indianapolis Colts, the new-looked Colts with Carson Wentz. So excited to get this started here.
Yes, absolutely. We can draft somebody that Carson Wentz can alienate in Indianapolis. That'll be fun. And finally, joining us here is my man, Seven. Seven, how we doing, brother? Who are you drafting?
Seven representing for the Warzone Network, Sports Network for Fantasy Football Boot Camp. I'll be representing the San Francisco 49ers at 3, the Denver Broncos at 9, the Arizona Cardinals at 16, and the Cleveland Browns at 26. So we'll have to see who falls to us in the later rounds, but I look forward to joining everyone and seeing what everyone does.
Yes, sir. I love that. Please announce them as the future Super Bowl champion Cleveland Browns. That's how we like to. Wait, am I the only one on that train? All right, cool. We'll work on that, guys. We'll get into unison in a second here. Now that I used up all my material going through those introductions, we're going to go ahead. We're going to put the Jets are now on the clock. Will we let this Joe Skirdo pick marinate here for just 1 second? Is everybody slightly confused about the sort of national narrative that has turned into where the Jets are going at number 2? Is there anybody else who feels confused like me?
Is this the Mac Jones pick?
Is this the – oh, no. Give it a couple days. They'll be like, what are we missing?
No, I'm not too confused about it. I think Zach Wilson's the clear-cut second-best quarterback right now based off what I've seen from him, watching a little bit of tape on him. The kid's good. He's good. I think he's going to be better than Sam Darnold. Brian?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. And I will go ahead and say he's at least maybe got a shot. This Jets roster is more talented, as bad as it is, still over the past 5-6 years. But no, he's no Sam Darnold. He's no future GOAT.
I'll tell you a concern that I have for the young man is the lack of competition he faced over at BYU. He hasn't seen a lot of the top, SEC defenses or even ACC defenses. So there's a little concern there in the competition level that he's played against. But the talent is there for sure.
Gentlemen, I hate to break up the Jets party here, but the pick is in. With the second pick in this NFL mock draft, the New York Jets have selected BYU quarterback Zachariah Wilson with the second pick in the draft. And this is the part where everybody's like, and boo at the same time because it's in New York. And they're just like,
what a shocking pick, Joe.
We picked somebody else who's never been to New York City before. This is going to end terribly. Joe Skirdo, let's explain to these. You are a Jets fan, so go ahead and just, bloviate on this one for a few minutes.
Yeah, sadly, I am a Jets fan, but I think this is the pick here. It's clear cut now. Sam Darnold's gone, and you got to take advantage of that 4-year rookie contract with the team with so many holes. It may sound cliche because you still think Darnold could be the guy, but I erase that from my mind. I think Zach Wilson does everything well on tape. Obviously, it's got to translate in the NFL, and that's why you got to build weapons around him. You got to give him an offensive line and a competent defense as well to kind of take the pressure off of him. But this dude had over 3,600 yards last year, 33 touchdowns. He added 10 rushing touchdowns. He could move in the pocket. He could make those acrobatic throws. You see it all over the internet. He can certainly do it. This kid is talented, and I think it's more so how can the Jets make Zach Wilson successful, more so how can Zach Wilson make the Jets successful. This is more on the Jets. I think Zach Wilson could flourish in this league if he is surrounded with talent. That's like all these guys. So I'm all in with Zach Wilson here And I think this is the clear-cut 2 pick. This is why you trade Darnold. Give the kid a chance, and he already has a better start than what Darnold had to deal with in 2018. He's no more Todd Bowles, no more Adam Gase, no more Mike McCagnon. They got Robert Saleh. They got Joe Douglas, a new regime. Let's see. I will cautiously be optimistic here, very cautiously, because it is still the Jets, but we got to take Zach Wilson here.
Yes. For your sake, for Joe Namath's sake, for all the Jets, for Fireman Ed, for everybody. We are all rooting that this, well, except for Bolster, who I saw taking some shots. You want to respond to that?
2.0.
I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
I love the tape of Zach Wilson and his Tommy Johns at the combine. Like, I mean, if you're getting to play 7-on-7 football, he'll be the man. But I really am cheering for him. We got the 49ers on the clock, but I want to stick with the Jets for one more second here because the Corey Davis signing, right? Like, I actually like Corey Davis. Again, this is a little bit of Michigan biased here, but I like him. I just want to see him stay healthy. Does anybody think that this could be a good connection for him in the NFL, or is Mims the better option?
I think Mims is the better option in my opinion. Well, he has that big body, and he could definitely make plays down the field. I'm not really sold on someone like player you just mentioned, Corey Davis. I mean, he broke out in a contract year. He was a bust until then, similar to Devontae Parker for a while, and then he had his breakout year, but he didn't reach 1,000 yards still. So I think the jury's still out for him.
For sure. Well, Corey, I mean, we have a Titans fan here, Corey Davis. What do you think on Corey Davis?
Yeah, I think it was a good pickup for the Jets. I think that, of course, he did take a while to break out, like Piggy said. He was kind of a bust until last year, but he was a raw prospect coming out of Western Michigan, right? And he was drafted, I believe, 5th overall for a reason. So I think he's in a spot to flourish in that Jets offense. Mims is talented, but, you mentioned health as a concern for Corey Davis. I think health is a larger concern for Denzel Mims. I think that potential wide receiver duo along with Crowder in the slot could end up being a really top tier one in the league. Now, let's not get too crazy with it, but in terms of the ceiling, I think is pretty high for that group.
Yeah, I agree. I like that a lot. Like when you can have 3 weapons on there, because the Jets were always trying to make, what's that tight end's name? Here, help me out, Joe. The tight end they were always like, oh, if this guy gets back from suspension, when he gets back
Chris
from injury.
Herndon.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was nonstop with this guy's going to be he's not going to be anything. Is he even in the league anymore? I don't know.
Yeah, he's still
I just called him
hanging
Drops
around.
McGee. That's what I called him.
It's either he drops the ball or when he catches it, he fumbles it. So it's lose. He did score 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games, though. He's on the come up.
I love it. Oh, this is great news, everybody. The pick is in at number 3. And with the 3rd pick in the Warzone Sports Network NFL mock draft, the 49ers have selected the QB from the Ohio State University, Justin Fields at number 3. Okay, 7. This is going to be a hot topic. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this right now. Give us why you made this selection for them.
Well, Justin Fields is battle-tested, played in the Big Ten. I think he's the best QB available. I think he's a great fit for that zone run scheme. He's durable. We saw that versus Clemson. He showed up, played through injury. He still has to work on a few tools, but I think with a year of sitting behind Jimmy G, he can prove to be the quarterback for the next 10 years for the San Francisco 49ers. I think this is the pick that they're going to end eventually making. We'll have to see. Just take it from there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm not really sure how Justin Fields keeps getting pushed further and further down. Again, another guy who looked great in his Tommy Johns, chucking balls all over the field. Going to have a second pro day. I have a bigger theory that I feel like Belichick has basically just been like, a couple months ago, he was like, hey, did everybody see Zach Wilson? This is a nice player. And then everybody fell in love with him. And they're like, I talked to my buddy, Nick Saban. Mac Jones looks like a great player. He trades up to 4. He ruins everybody's life and steals, steals Justin Fields. Anybody else? Let's hear. Who haven't we heard from? Joe, I know you're behind the scenes doing stuff. Is this the pick that you would have made if you were in this decision?
I was hoping he wasn't gonna let Justin Fields fall because I have the 4th pick right now with Atlanta, and that's who I want. I think, you know what? I'm gonna go on the limb right now, and I'll say it right now. I think Justin Fields is the best quarterback. Is going to be the best quarterback in this draft. In this draft. I said what I said. I said it right now.
Wow.
And I was going to take Justin Fields at number 4, and I just said, I was hoping he was going to let it fall. It's a great pick. I think it's a great pick for the Niners, what they want to do. I don't know if Seven knew this, but he had a lot of pressure on him because the guy in the chat right now, Meat Hammer, he said he loves the pick. But he actually came on our live on Friday, and he said whoever has the 49ers, if they take Mac Jones at number 3, he was going to stop watching the Warzone Sports Network. So you had a lot of pressure on you, but we didn't want to let you know before you made that pick. So you made the right pick. Now I got to go through my stuff and go. But I like I said, I think Justin Fields, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in this draft. And yes, sorry, Trevor Lawrence, I just said it.
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump in here on Justin Fields, the Niners? This whole situation is insane to me.
I think
I like the pick as well. I'll go ahead and say that. I like it. I think it's a swing for the fences. Big, strong athlete. I think he's got the upside for a top 3 pick. Other than the over the safer option of Mac Jones.
Wait, hang on a second. Let me get some clarification. Mac Jones would be a safer play?
Yeah, I think so. I think Mac Jones, specifically with Kyle Shanahan, is the high floor prospect, right? I think he's a guy that's going to be accurate, but I think he's kind of you're hoping he turns into Kirk Cousins.
Oh, yay! Minnesota just lost their minds. They're like, woo! Wait, we can get another one of these guys? We can get knocked out in the second round of the playoffs? Okay, so that to me, it's insane. The position is absolutely moving towards these other guys, right? Because in college, they're taking the best athletes and putting them out there, right? It was like, it's what we saw in baseball with the shortstop position. For a while, they all started looking like Alex Rodriguez. It was like your best 6'4" athlete was like playing that position. We're doing the same thing at quarterback. We're running different offenses. They're like, oh, he came from a pro style offense. You mean like the one the Ravens run? That's not a pro style offense. The run, like the one Kyler Murray runs. So I get confused sometimes when they're like pro style, because that's not going to have the same meaning in 5 years when all of the talent being shoveled into the NFL looks more like Justin Fields, and Mac Jones is far from Tom Brady, or like a traditional pocket passer in my estimation here. Who's on the clock? All right, I'm already getting flustered, and we're only at pick 4. Who's on? We got Atlanta at 4 on the clock. Did Atlanta put their pick? Okay. As soon as I said it, there it is. There's a saying there. There's an old cliche saying. I forgot it. Let's just hit the button, guys. Okay. Like I said, the pick is in at number 4. The Atlanta Falcons select cornerback from Alabama, Patrick Surtain at number 4. Okay, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Am I this old that, like, did I watch Patrick Surtain Sr.? Are these people related?
Yeah.
All right. And that pick was sponsored by Hair Club for Men, because I'm going gray. I can't believe I'm watching these people's kids now. This is insane. This is happening to me. Joseph, I need you to tell me why they picked him. Is this to stop the 28-3 meltdown or what?
Well, I know I just threw a wrench in the whole draft. Everybody was like, oh, he's probably going to go quarterback. He's probably going to go Kyle Pitts. I tried to throw Mike off a little bit because Mike has been bugging me all day. Who are you going to take at number 4 so I can know at number 5? Mike, I'm taking the cornerback. Patrick Surtain, he might not be the best quarterback. He's rated as one of the best ones right now. Somebody's going to fall in love with him. He's 6'2", 202 pounds. He's been doing what he's doing, right? He gets his interceptions. He's going to help the Falcons defense. They need to do something. I was thinking about going offense on this part, but they don't really need offense. We made a rule that we're not going to be able to trade in this draft, so there's no trades. So if I had this pick and I could trade, I would have traded this pick because looking at what the Falcons need, they need defense, and they need every level of defense. So that's why I'm going defense here. It's a little bit of a stretch at number 4, but that's who I'm taking.
I love it. Somebody, okay. In this thing, right? Like we play in a new era on the NFL where nobody really can play defense. I don't know that I would be taking a defensive back this high in my draft with this much offensive talent still on the board. That's just me. I'm not a drafter, and there's a reason why you guys didn't give me the controls, because I probably would have taken Kyle Pitts at like number 1 because I'm an insane person. But
everybody's in love with Kyle Pitts. Everybody
Yes.
is. But if you read that comment right there, you already know. Joe Morley does a good job.
The fantasy football therapist. All right. Well, you better keep a spot open on your sofa for Joseph Morley, because things are only going to get worse. He's still got a draft for the Prim Raiders. That's what I call them. Nobody. Vegas is not claiming the Raiders until they start winning. So they're Prim, just outside a nice little town where you can gamble. You can play blackjack for $2 a hand. Okay, Patrick. Was Patrick Surtain on anybody's board? Like, was anybody like, with the team I'm drafting coming up? Mike raises his hand because Mike is now on the clock at 5 with the Cincinnati Bengals.
At 10-13 with the Cowboys and Chargers, Joe's going to get fired when in 5 years Kyle Pitts is the best tight end in football and Penei Sewell is the best offensive lineman in football. I'm just letting you know now.
Yeah.
Fire. Bring me up. They're going to get fired for their head coaching hire already, so it doesn't matter what they do.
Hey, why are you taking shots at Arthur Smith, man? Arthur Smith turned around Ryan Tannehill, right? Just think what he's going to do with Matt Ryan.
Let's go hire the Titans offensive coordinator as a head coach. Let's do it. I mean, they only have Derrick Henry running the ball.
Yeah, but
they're a high-flying offense, regardless.
Wait, who's a high-flying offense?
The Tennessee Titans. They're an elite offense last year in the NFL. That's just a fact.
You
can say, Ryan Tannehill. It's just a fact.
They were for one season. Somebody throw this man a life raft. He's in there. They were one season, bro.
Somebody put the pick in. Put the pick in.
Last year was pretty good. Hey, the previous year, I'd say 2 years. Come on now. Give the man some credit.
No, I do. I actually love Ryan Tannehill, and I love what he's doing there. And we won't get it. We'll get into that later when we get there. I don't want to, waste all my conversation. It looks like the pick is in, switching back and forth. Guys, I'm obsessed with the graphic, the work put in. Congratulations on all the hard work there. All right, so at pick number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals have selected the offensive tackle from Oregon, Penei Sewell. There it is. I think this pick makes a lot of sense to me. If you got Joe Burrow and you already lost him, to just torn, they feasted on this guy last year. You gotta look at it. And I actually think Penei Sewell, to me, is one of those guys that like in 10, 12 years will be like best, safest player to be picked in this, like a Joe Thomas type guy. But go ahead, Mike. If I didn't steal whatever. You got
the Bengals just got to not overthink this pick. There's rumors about Kyle Pitts. There's rumors about Jamar Chase. Here's my opinion on Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is going to be an elite quarterback one day in the NFL. I still believe in him. But he ain't going to make it if they don't protect him. They got to protect him. In my opinion, I don't think Burrow's going to need elite receivers to succeed one day. Once you're ready to build your team and take that next step to a playoff contender, then go and get your receivers. They'll still be there when the time comes. Penei Sewell will not be there when the time comes. He's the best offensive lineman in this draft. Left tackles are super hard to come by, especially guys with the potential this guy has. Long, quick, strong, all of the above. I think he's a future, top 5, maybe top 3, maybe best left tackle in the league in the future. And the best part about the whole thing, he's 20 years young. He's got room to grow still. This kid's going to improve, which is ridiculous. I think it'd be awesome. It's a little upsetting. I just know it's not realistic that he's going to slide to my Chargers to block for Justin Hurt once again. But, hey, Bengals get him at 5. If they take Jamar Chase here, which they can, I think they'll be making a mistake a little bit here because you can find elite-level wide receivers down the road when they're ready for receivers.
No, I love this pick. Quick little story time from Uncle Tony here. I was a little chubby sixth grader, and I played on the heavyweights, and I was guard. My side of the line gave up no sacks. That's because I was playing next to a future, like, all-state honorable mention tackle next to me. So whoever this guard is next to him, hopefully this guy gets to ride his coattails to success in the NFL, because this guy is a monster out there. Everybody, where's it? Anybody not like this pick? Can I hear from somebody who thinks the Bengals should have went elsewhere at 5?
I can offer up some disagreement on that. I mean, I think Sewell is the pick if you want to protect your franchise quarterback, but offensive tackle and offensive line period is deep in this draft. So you can get a starting caliber left tackle in the second round easily in this draft, unlike, previous drafts.
Yeah. And you wanted to see reunited and it feels so good with Jamar Chase. Am I right?
Yeah.
You better not have to pay for that.
Yep.
Oh, I love it.
We just got kicked off of YouTube for you singing that song right now.
Just for being so out of tune. They were like, we're not even going to charge you for sampling. Like, that was just garbage, Mr. Tucker. You are fired, 100%. I love this, the Penei Sewell. I love people actually making picks that make sense. And again, another reason why I'm glad you guys gave me no power to draft people whatsoever.
What is that? What is that? The pick that makes sense. What does that mean? Was that a shot at me at number 4? Was that a shot at me right there?
Yes. It was. That was not a shot. That was not a shot. That was a pillowcase full of cue balls. Just like, what are you doing? That's what that was. I don't know. That might have been uncalled for. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, let's move it on. Who we got on the clock here? Oh, we got the Miami Dolphins, and we have a Dolphins fan drafting for him. Let's see if the pick is in.
Let's get it, baby. Let's get it.
And it is the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins, with the 6th pick in our mock draft, have selected the tight end, the number 1, no doubt, stunner ever from the Florida Gators, Kyle Pitts. Okay, this is Kevin's pick, Mr. Piggy Banks. Thank you so much for taking this pick. Now go ahead and talk to the people and why you will be so excited when this guy falls to you in real life too.
All right, man. Well, I mean, 6'6", 240, runs a 4.4. You know what I mean? The guy's a freak. You don't have to leave his state. He can stay in Florida. And, I mean, one thing for Miami Dolphin fans, I mean, we need a playmaker for Tua. And why not a guy that's 6'6", that's an athletic freak? We're talking about generational talents. And you already had someone like Penei Sewell come off the board, which I would really consider there. But I'll go with the second best, another second generational talent, and that'll be my guy Kyle Pitts, man. Jasecki's going to be a free agent next year, so you got to start thinking about the future. And yeah, man, if you start thinking about the future, why not have someone like Pitts to take over if need be, or have both guys? I mean, you know what the Patriots are doing over there? They got something little cute thing going on with their tight end position, but why not have 12 personnel and have someone like Kyle Pitts and Jasecki, and Tua is going to look like Magic Johnson out there. So that's it.
No,
Kyle Pitts, baby.
I agree. I love this pick. This is great news for you. It would be fantastic because this guy needs the middle of the field. So if you have Gesicki and you have him, I'm honestly not sure how great he is at throwing outside the numbers to begin with. So if you have a couple of these big targets down the middle of the field, that'll be great. I'm also just not sold on whether or not Tua is the long-term guy there. Anyways, but this is good. Who has thoughts on Kyle Pitts in Miami? Let's see.
I think this is a perfect scenario for the Dolphins, man. This team's loaded with young talent, and something I love to see when a team is loaded with young talent like the Miami Dolphins is to keep piling on. Because yes, all these guys' contracts are going to come up at once, but also all these guys are going to hit their prime at once. So just keep piling it on Miami. Keep getting these first-round picks. This team's going to be good in the future. And honestly, even if Tua isn't the guy, they'll find the guy because they're going to have a loaded roster in years to come.
Yeah.
And Tua ain't that guy. Tua's not that guy.
Oh, no, let's not start this now.
Well,
Mac Jones is on the board, and you're taking Kyle Pitts right here. What are you doing?
Mac Jones. Joseph, please stop. All right. It looks like the pick for the Detroit Lions is in here. chewing off kneecaps. Boom. All right, here we go into the newest member of the Cannibal Squad there in Detroit. It looks like the Detroit Lions have selected the wide receiver from LSU, Jamar Chase. Okay, Rio, I really like this pick for the Lions. I hate this pick for the young man that is named Jamar Chase. So go ahead, and why have you cast this horrible life upon him?
Yeah, man. Jamar Chase is, by many accounts, the number one wide receiver on the board. The Lions lost Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones this offseason. You just traded for Jared Goff. He's had good wide receivers. He's never had an elite one, though. And it's a weapon that the Lions are going to need going forward. So he's number one guy on the board. He fits a position of need. I think it's the direction that they'll go if he's there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely you lose that much talent, Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, and pretty much everything else. And then you have a coach. I'm assuming that he went out and checked this guy's incisors because these guys are going to be chewing off knee. I can't get over that.
Yeah,
I absolutely love that thing. Like a new defensive coordinator, Army Hammer. It's going to be the Lions are a great. I will say this about the Lions. There's a nice thing about the Detroit Lions, real quick. The Detroit Lions did something right for the first time. They moved off of a hot commodity. They ruined Barry Sanders. They ruined Calvin Johnson. They could have done the same thing to Matt Stafford, but they got a bunch of assets for him. So maybe the Lions are trending in the right direction.
And he fits that mindset as well, too. Everything coming out of LSU is he's a nasty guy. He'll stiff arm you to the ground. He's an alpha type guy. So he fits Coach Campbell's mindset of chewing off kneecaps.
That's right. He took him for a steak dinner. He's like, all right, son, let me see what you can do to that tomahawk right there. He's like, that's my kind of guy. You're a Dan Campbell kind of guy. I don't know why I made him sound like, 1970s sheriff. Okay. I have no idea. My impressions will only get worse the longer this show goes on. So we have the Carolina Panthers. Is anybody out there think that the Lions, could have gone elsewhere? Is there another pick? To me, this one seems right, but does anybody disagree? Would anybody else have gone elsewhere with
linebacker Parsons?
Okay,
I could see Parsons going there. I mean, just because, like you said, we're Dan Campbell's looking for that high energy, crazy guy, somebody who's going to change it. But I mean, of course, you want to go with the offense because they have no offense. But if they were going to go look for a defensive player, I could see him go that way.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you scared me for a second there. I was like, you're just going to give the guy's name, throw your back into it, feel free to defend.
Well, I got a big back. I can't be throwing the whole thing into it.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I like the pick. I mean, I feel like the Lions, they need so much. They kind of need to repair the whole team at this point. And I feel like they got a couple years to figure out if they're going to stick with Goff for a long period of time. Go ahead and at least build a decent offense so you can see if Goff's going to be your guy of the future. At the very minimum, I think the Lions need to do a lot of testing out over the next 3 years or so anyways. So I like the pick. And who knows? Maybe Chase becomes a really, really good receiver in the NFL, and he can carry Goff to get them to have a good enough offense to compete. But I still think the Lions are in a rough spot. They just need to do some testing out. I like the pick.
There it is. Mike with a hot take. Jamar Chase is going to be good in the NFL. There. Let's cut it and put that on our Instagram page, yo. Fireworks.
He just said it. Mike's going out on a limb. He's crazy.
Jamar Chase could be okay in the NFL.
I think the Lions got a lot for Stafford. I think they're headed in the right direction, considering what they got in that trade with the Rams. So I think it's a good pick. And then they're going to get the Rams pick from next year and the year after that. So I think they're headed in the right direction for once.
Yeah, I'm going to pass that along to my family and friends who do not feel the same way, but I'm sure they'd be happy about it. We got the Carolina Panthers pick in here. Let's go ahead and get after this one. All right. And with the number 8 pick, the Carolina Panthers select the wide receiver from Alabama, Jalen Waddle. Mr. Brian Bolster, I love this pick. Go ahead and talk to these folks about what's going on.
Yeah, the Panthers are getting the most explosive wide receiver in the draft. He was absolutely phenomenal at Alabama, not only as a receiver just this past season, earning over 21 yards per reception, but he also turned in 3 return touchdowns during his career at Alabama. You know, the Panthers lost Curtis Samuel during free agency, and in my opinion, they're getting that same style of player, just a better version. So, again, they made the trade to bring in Sam Darnold. Now's the time to surround him with as much talent as possible. In the NFL, speed kills. Speed wins. We've seen it with all the top teams, specifically in the AFC with the Chiefs and the Bills. Matt Rule has already placed a big-time priority on speed. They addressed that last year in the draft. For the defensive side, this year they're going offense with Jalen Waddle.
I really like that pick, and that's a really good addition to that to an already a good offense. You know, I don't know if anybody can see it, but don't let the Southern accent fool you. He's a USC fan. You can see right over his shoulder there. He loves the USC Trojans. So you know, you get your guy a weapon, and then he won't be a bust in the NFL. Like.
Come on, hey, come on. It's more than just like one weapon. Can we just give him like not the worst roster of the last 2 decades? Come on, hey, Sam Darnold, he's going to ball out this year. He's going to make the Jets look foolish for drafting Trubisky 2.0.
Here is my opportunity.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Let me get in on this. I've been quiet, but I know Brian was going to light the fire. Why don't you go O-line? Wasn't that the whole thing that Darnold had his turnovers because he has had the 32nd ranked offensive line? And you go for a third receiver? You have enough talent. You got to protect him now. That was the biggest thing, including you. You've told me many times. Terrible offensive line. All they had was Becton. George Fant stinks. And now you're going to pass on a Slater? A guy who could be a legitimate franchise tackle? I don't know, Brian. I would have taken Smith over Waddle as well. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, Slater was the other guys looking at their, hey, the Jets' offensive line still stinks. It doesn't matter who I picked here. Yeah, but I agree with Rio. You know, he said that this draft is deep in offensive tackles, and I think that's where the Panthers are going to go with their second-round pick, that 39th pick overall. I think they might get a guy like Walker Little, or the guy from North Dakota State. Can't quite remember his name at the moment.
Here is a great opportunity for me to plug those 2 gentlemen every Wednesday night in Sports Force, going at it. Brian got super petty on his hopes and dreams for Mr. Zachary Wilson this past Wednesday. Gentlemen, I love this show. So check that out on the Warzone Sports Network every Wednesday. These 2 gentlemen in Sports Force.
Brian,
I think
you see that comment?
I think it's good. I think it's
head
in this direction.
Of course, it makes sense. I know football. Sam Darnold's the future GOAT. Of course, I'm going to have the correct opinion on him.
Oh, I love it. I'm a huge fan of Trojan quarterbacks. Sanchez and Leinart and Castle.
No, he didn't. The whole Jets
hey, for all the hate that Mark Sanchez gets, he's like the best Jets quarterback in how long?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't know how that helps your argument, though.
Jack Pennington.
Yeah, what is that? 15 years ago? 20 years ago?
Favre had about 8-3. He had about 8-3 before the torn rotator cuff, too.
Meat Hammer coming in with the takes like Mike on the mic, those hot takes right here. The Jets' whole roster stinks.
Oh, I disagree. I'm gonna turn up the Jets on this one. I feel optimism for the Jets. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to be nice because he's the only Jets fan here.
No, that's someone who just doesn't look. They're just like, the Jets suck, right? We all said that about the Browns a few years ago. So I don't know. Go do some research, Meat Hammer.
Now the Browns and the Panthers have the Browns and the Jets have a better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
For sure. So
Meat Hammer, man. I was waiting for a comment like that. Yeah. Right? Like that.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I was waiting I had that in my head. I can't say that though. That's why he did it.
Oh man. I don't even know. I don't even know where to go. Oh, wait. Looks like the pick is in for who, though? You got to help me out here. All right. The pick is in for the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos at pick number 9 have selected the linebacker from Penn State, Micah Parsons. Okay. This is the point of the draft where I stop, I'm checked out. It makes sense for them to draft a linebacker, but go ahead and explain why Micah Parsons is the heir apparent to Von Miller here.
Well, he plays inside linebacker, and he runs a 4-3-4. It's one of the needs they need to address. He can play both inside and outside, and in a conference or a division where you're going to see Kelsey twice and Darren Waller twice, it's just important to get those fast linebackers. As people have mentioned, the game is changing where you have it's all about speed. So why not get one of the fastest linebackers on the market?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I feel like this sort of is more in line with who the Broncos are. But at this position to me, and maybe, I don't know if there's other people who feel the same way that I do, but I probably would have gone with one of the quarterbacks just because I'm not sure how I feel about Drew Lock. Actually, I'm sure I know how I feel about
the comment
Drew Lock.
section is killing you right now, Seven. These Bronco fans are mad at you.
Okay, so there are some other Broncos are like, yeah, we need to find our new John Elway and Micah Parsons. I don't know enough about Micah Parsons. Is he like really gonna be a difference maker at linebacker on the NFL level?
He's definitely going to be a difference maker. I mean, this guy is sideline to sideline. And if you pair him next to Von Miller, man, it's going to be nasty. I mean, running backs are going to definitely be stopping their tracks with these guys flying everywhere. They could have gone quarterback, definitely. But the linebacker is a position of need. And, hey, man, it's unpredictable what happens in these drafts. So, he runs a 4-3.
No, I love it. It feels sort of reminiscent to Solomon Thomas when there was just still quarterbacks that were left on the board, and you take a defensive player high up in the draft. I'm not disagreeing with the pick. It feels in line with kind of what the Broncos do, but I would have just went Trey Lance. That was just me. I don't know.
Unless Elway liked him. If Elway liked him, don't take him.
Look at this, Seven. These are just people in there. This state's horrible, or this is terrible. They said
we're gonna get canceled.
He's not a good coverage linebacker that could get somebody in the second round. They said you got it. The horrible pick. You should have took Trey Lance right here. So these Bronco fans aren't happy with you. I think that's the first pick that besides the number 4 pick. Some people had they weren't happy with me, but luckily I got the draft early and they didn't get to see it. So a lot of people tuned in after that.
Trey Lance has a lot of upside, but he is a project, and Elway doesn't have a lot of leeway. They have a first-year GM. That defense, you're gonna have to put up points. You've got San Diego, you've got Kansas City. They just picked up Kyle Fuller. They have Simmons. You've got Chubb and Von Miller. Why not add a young stud and play defense? Defense wins championships. I'm not sure that Lance is going to be the guy because he has a lot of gifts, but he also is a project, and you don't have that veteran quarterback to mentor him. Is Drew Lock going to mentor Trey Lance into this great quarterback? I don't know.
All right,
no, he wouldn't.
He would. He definitely
mentor him
would.
on karaoke night. I think he knows the song lyrics pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to. We're going to move on to because the pick is in for the Dallas Cowboys. Let's see. And Jerry Joseph Jones, I don't know what his middle name is, at the 10th overall pick for the Dallas Cowboys, has selected the cornerback from South Carolina, J.C. Horn. All right. This feels kind of like what the Cowboys need this. All right, Mike, I see some fist pumps going on from Dolphins fans in the background, but I don't know, maybe that's for one of his surrogate teams. Mike, talk to the people about J.C. Horn.
Man, I love this kid. And I think for the Cowboys at this spot, they should be just looking at best available defensive player. And J.C. Horn might be the guy right here. When you put on the tape of this kid, he is an absolute monster. Long-armed, aggressive, plays with confidence, plays with that chip on his shoulder that you want to see cornerbacks play with. And you know I'm going to draft cornerbacks. I used to play cornerback when I played back then, so I got a special admiration for good cornerbacks, especially coming out of South Carolina. They always produce really like tough, gritty players out of South Carolina. He's also the son of Joe Horn, so he's got the lifelong training at an NFL level. I love this pick for the Cowboys. I would like Patrick Surtain also, but I'll be honest with you. I think J.C. Horn might be just as good or a little bit better. This guy's good.
Okay, I didn't know this is another person who I cheered for their father. Another one of these guys. This is not good. This is not making me feel happy about where I'm at 39 years old. Okay, so
People are liking it. They're liking it.
I don't even remember the guy's name. J.C. Horn. All right, the Cowboys definitely need help on the defensive side of the football. There's no question there. And I think that in real life, this is the reason why I like your pick here. If they draft offense in the first round, although they seem to draft offense very well, Zeke, CD, like Michael Gallup, they draft offensive players well, but they have to hit on more defensive players. So
Yes,
I like this pick. Anybody else dislike? Well, is there anybody who said no? Mike needs to get rid of his mic, and I'm gonna get a new pick. Anybody who thinks Mike is wrong here?
You could make an argument for an edge rusher. I don't think anybody has one rated that high, but that's probably the weakest position on the Cowboys roster is their edge. So you could make an argument that they might reach for the best available edge rusher there. But I think J.C. Horn is probably the best defensive player they could have got, and I probably would have gone in that direction as well.
Yes, and I think didn't they just back up the Brinks truck to DeMarcus Lawrence a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken? Like, isn't he an edge rusher that's being drastically overpaid?
I feel like they're trying to push him towards the door.
Can I rant on that for a second? I haven't seen one person complaining about DeMarcus Lawrence's contract on the internet, but everyone complains about Dak. All right, I'm gonna mute myself again.
No, I agree. Everybody complains about Dak, but the guy's going to win him a bunch of football games. I like Dak Prescott. I don't like the Cowboys.
Nolan said that Farley would have been a good pick here. Yeah, Farley, J.C. Horn. There's three cornerbacks in here. Farley's fallen because of an injury, but he's already came out and said that, you know, if teams want to sleep on him, he's going to make them pay. So he might be one of those sleepers. But I do like Farley. I mean, J.C. Horn, Farley, I would say you can't go wrong with either one of them.
Yeah, I think like Tony was saying, the Cowboys can't risk it here. They got to find the best defensive player available, whether it is an edge rusher, if they think a guy can come in and be an elite edge rusher right away, or it is a cornerback like this. I like Diggs, but they definitely still need a solid cornerback one. And I feel like with the injury risk, you just can't risk it here at 10 overall. If they were back at like 18, 19, or past 20, yeah, I'm thinking maybe Caleb Farley, but they just can't risk it, man, with the injury concerns. Because not only did he have the back problems at the end of last year and heading into this year, he's had multiple injuries before that. That wasn't his first injury issue.
Yeah. All right. We have the New York Giants pick. Let's go to it. And with the 11th pick in this mock draft, the New York Giants select offensive tackle Rashawn Slater from Northwestern. This pick was made by Joe Skirto. Joe, offensive lineman, second one off the board. What do you got here?
Yeah, I think he's by far the second best offensive lineman. And some Giants fans may be like, why are you taking Devontae Smith? But look what they did in the offseason. I mean, you get Cunny Galladay, you have Sterling Shepard, you got those guys still, John Ross. You got to get an offensive lineman. Andrew Thomas was a bit of a disappointment last year, and I feel like people want to see more of him. But how about Slater coming in and not – Slater's just not a tackle. This is a guy who has a future to be a center potentially in this league as well. He has really good footwork for a big man, over 300 pounds, 6'4". He's solid in run and pass blocking. He did opt out in the 2020 season, so it worries you a little bit if he's going to be rusty, but this was a multi-year starter for Northwestern. Like I said, I think he's by far the second best lineman, and this is what the Giants need. You got to protect Daniel Jones now. I think Jones has enough weapons to work with. Now you just got to protect him and see what he can do, and maybe that could limit the mistakes, and I think Slater would be a very good start for the Giants.
Great defense, always an elegant the way that you put it. And it makes a lot of sense. When you got Saquon Barkley and you got Danny Dimes and the fumble issues and stuff, like I actually think this is a good pick. It seems to match Joe Judge too. Like I would think that this would be, unless somebody ridiculous falls to them, I think that this pick makes a lot of sense. Anybody disagree with Mr. Skirto here at pick 11 with the Giants?
I don't disagree, but I do love the pick. That's an excellent pick. This is probably the second best offensive lineman in the draft. You have Barkley coming back from injury, and you want to open up holes, make it easy for him. You do, like to your point, you want to protect a quarterback that does put the ball on the ground a lot. And the game is won in the trenches, man. The game is won in the trenches. You got to do the dirty work, and this is an excellent pick, man. So Joe killed it right there, man.
I just got to say, I completely agree. I love Daniel Jeremiah. I'm an App State alum as well as Daniel Jeremiah. And he actually thinks that Rashawn Slater is the best offensive lineman in this draft. So the Giants may have even one-upped the Bengals there.
No, Joe or Brian, sometime I want to talk to you about that because you're from Appalachian State? Appalachian State?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, man.
No.
It's Appalachian. Appalachian. Sorry. Yeah. Appalachian.
I'm a Michigander. I don't know. I've never been there. But that was I felt like that was like the punchline school for a long time. But then they beat Michigan way back in the day. And then I could no longer use that as the punchline. Okay. I don't know why I went there. Not a great story.
34-32. I still remember.
What a terrible. Then I could work in this, my favorite name, Tishminga Biakabatuka from Michigan. Look that one up. That's a fun one. All right. Great pick, Joe. We're going to move on to the 12th pick because it looks like it is in here. All right. The Eagles select at number 12, the wide receiver from Alabama, the other guy, Heisman Trophy winner, I believe, Devontae Smith. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have first we're going to go to Kevin for this, and then I think we're going to Bolster because I saw him put up something about Devontae Smith, and I want to talk to him about that. But Kevin, Devontae Smith, what's going on there?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's Slim Reaper. He's fallen a little bit in this draft. The Eagles need a wide receiver. I mean, you had someone explosive like Deshaun Jackson back in the day. Taking it to the house. And, Smith, man, won the Heisman Award. And we can ask Joe Morley how he feels about Heisman winners at the wide receiver position because that was Tim Brown, one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game. Man, I love it for them. They got a receiver like Rieger last year. But I think Smith, man, he could do some special things. Hopefully Jalen Hurts could, do his thing, man, and feed the man. But yeah, I know what Bolster's going to say about, his weight issue, but hey, Marvin Harrison was not weighing too much, man. And even Chad Ochocinco came out the other day and he was saying that Smith's weight doesn't mean anything because he was playing at like 170 or something like that. His whole career, he was, on the I Am an Athlete podcast. So, hey, man, I love Smith here. For the Eagles, and hopefully, man, whoever their strength and conditioning coach gets it right because these players for the Eagles be getting injured all the time, but Smith is going to change that.
No, I like this pick because they need weapon. They need pass catchers. Travis Fulgham's a nice story, but he can't be the number one there. Bolster, I did see something. I didn't get to fully go into it, but there was something where you posed a question about his weight or being too small or whatever. Do you want to share?
Yeah. So first off, I like the pick, especially at the 12th overall pick. Basically, I was making the case. I think some people are saying that his weight or frame is just a non-factor, and that's simply not true. First of all, you bring up Chad Ochocinco, Marvin Harrison. Those are great receivers, but we're talking 15 years ago. The cornerback position has elevated extremely across the board, not only in weight, but in length and in height. So he's going up against much more physical, bigger corners than those two guys did. I like Devontae Smith, But people always talk about press coverage, and actually that's the area I don't think that he's going to struggle in. He's got great footwork, kind of reminds me of Devontae Adams a little bit, but it's more within the route. Are you getting bullied? You'll see those physical corners just ride those wide receivers into the sideline and take them away. It's just a factor for me, and the reason that he wouldn't be the number one pass catcher taken in this draft.
No, I agree. I did not know how slight he was, but then when I saw it, I was just like, it does worry me a little bit. We just added a 17th game. Like, it's a brutal sport, and
the dude can wear baby Gap pants, man. He's got like a 28-inch waist. He's tiny. I love him. He's tiny, but it's at least an issue, right? And to me, the kind of red flag about it, people are like, he's young, he can stack on weight. That's true. However, when these guys are at college, that's when they're really going to stack on the weight because they have mandatory protein shake check-ins. Like, you have to come in, take your protein shake, and sign out, right? Like, it's a legit deal. And he didn't pack on 1 pound from his junior year to his senior year. Not one. I mean, I know I could probably speak for all of us. We're no professional athletes, and we aren't doing the cardio that man is. But I'm pretty sure I could pack on 1 pound in a day.
Yeah. Oh, I gained weight just sitting here talking to you guys. Like, that's how I work. But yes.
No comment. No comment on this issue.
I'll say this: he's a lot of people that he lit up on Saturdays are playing on Sundays right now. And so if you can't keep a finger on him within that 5-yard box, especially as sensitive as the NFL has been the last couple of years with pass interferences, he's either going to get the yards or he's going to get the PIs. I have almost zero concern about his weight or his injury history because if you look back, he's had almost those have played very little factors in his career. So I think he's going to be a good pick. And I think the NFL has moved to a position where guys of this size and frame can make it.
Okay. Yeah. It's weird to say that we don't have any concern. Like we concerned about Zion being a little chubby or whatever. Like we can be concerned either way about these guys and their frames. They're playing physically demanding sports. It looks like the pick is in. We've had a wardrobe change for the Chargers pick here. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I'm going to shout him out right here. Our resident Chargers fan coming in with the pick. I'm just trying to scramble because I can't find the right button. There it is. Boom. And the Chargers have selected you wrote me a dissertation here. Offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech. I hope I didn't butcher that name, Mr. Darrisaw. This real quick before Mike goes here. Mike also recently compared the Corey Linsley signing to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting Tom Brady. That's for another day. We'll go down that road with him. He loves his Los Angeles Chargers, but he takes the offensive tackle. Mike, talk to him. Feel free to throw me under the bus for being a jerk.
Out of context, Tony, out of context, but we'll fight that battle. We'll fight that battle another day. I got suspended for that already. I've served my time, and I'm back to give this take on Christian Darrisaw. First of all, before I go, I want to talk to the guys at NFL Network, ESPN Sports Center, all the pros doing these mock drafts. Stop having Sewell slide to the Chargers at 13. You're giving me so much false hope. It's hurting my soul. I'm taking the third tackle off the board here at 13. You guys need to stop with this Sewell all the way back to 13 talk. Anyways, I think the next best thing is Slater, and the next best thing is Christian Darrisaw. And for the Chargers, they got to go offensive line, and they got to find a starting offensive lineman in this draft. I'm super tempted to go with an edge rusher here, but we got to get an offensive lineman that we know is going to start for years to come because the Chargers paid Brian Bulaga 2 off seasons ago. They paid Corey Linsley record-breaking money this last offseason. And a lot of people don't know this. We paid for 2 other offensive linemen in this last offseason under the radar a little bit. So the Chargers can't afford to be putting in 75% of the cap into offensive line. We need a rookie that's going to start on his rookie contract for 3 to 4 years at left tackle, one of the most important positions on the line. I think Christian Darrisaw is going to be the guy. He's 6'5", 322. Well, I want Slater to fall to us, and thanks, Joe, for taking him right before I can get him. That is the one knock with Slater. He's a little bit small. Darrisaw doesn't have that problem. He's a bigger guy, and he's athletic for his size and athletic for a tackle. He's great with his hands, preventing swims rips and other moves off the line. And the thing that impresses me most, because the Chargers have always had problems with holding in the big moments, usually 3rd and 2, he had low penalty numbers in his last year in college. This is the right pick for the Chargers if both Sewell and Slater are gone. Tempted to go edge. If all 3 are gone, I may have taken Ajuolari right here, but I'm going to take theirs.
Yeah. No, I think we can all agree they solidified that side of the line with Jared Cook and Mr. Darashaw right there. This is big blockers. Anybody else thoughts on this pick from the Chargers?
Boo Chargers. Boo Chargers. That's all I got to say.
That's a good pick. You got to double down on the offensive line. When you think they've seen a glimmer of like, hey, we might have a future top 5 quarterback, you can't take any chances. Sure, you brought in Corey Linsley. You got to double down. Offensive line, all their picks. I think it would be worth it, to be honest with you, to ensure, if it were possible, to have a top 5 offensive line.
Yeah, I agree. Rio, Joe, Piggy, anything to add to this?
It's a great one, man. That's a great pick. The Chargers, Justin Herbert broke the record book. Peyton Manning, Baker Mayfield, bye to your record. He ran away with it, and this is with a lot of pressure in his face. I mean, Justin Herbert had pressure in his face all season, and imagine what he can do with a little bit of protection, just a half a second more. Man, this guy could be MVP in his second year. I really think so. We saw Lamar Jackson do it. We've seen other people do it. So, hey, get this man protection and see where he goes.
I'm sorry. There's something wrong with my headphones. I believe he said MVP in year 2. Was that? Did anybody else? Was that I just
possible?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Hey, Lamar did it. Why can't Justin with some protection?
But Lamar did it. Lamar did it differently than he will do it, right? Because Lamar did it as the best running back in the NFL, but Herbert's going to have to do it as Brian. Don't laugh at that. That's the truth.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's completely different, right? The offensive system, it is different. I actually wouldn't completely rule out a little bit of a sophomore slump here for Justin Herbert. Just the expectations are getting a little out of control with the MVP talk. But he's got a tough division, except for the Raiders, But
Mike has unmuted his mic. I'm kidding. I mean, I wouldn't be completely shocked if we see a sophomore slump. It's just the expectations are so high, right? Everyone's calling for MVP. I think it's just 1 or 2 years, a little bit too early. And if he does have a little bit of a tough time or a tough year with the guys getting a year of film on him, I don't want it to crush him. So I'm hoping that we can relax the MVP talk and he can just play football and not worry about whatever pressure is going to be assigned to him. But what I saw last year, I was amazed, dude. You can ask my wife. I'd just be sitting on the couch like, this is our savior. This is the Chargers' savior.
Yeah.
Unless he was playing the Dolphins or the Patriots. That's when you saw Justin for what he was.
It happens. I just want to point out that he broke almost every rookie record in existence. And if any Vikings fans, ironically, they're on the clock right after us, are in this, Justin Jefferson didn't win Rookie of the Year. Give it up. Should have.
Yes, I was just going to say there should have been a co-Rookie of the Year, kind of like when Sanders and Favre split the MVP. But the pick is in here. We transitioned from crazy talk of MVPs for Herbert. The kid got a haircut. Relax. Let's see what the Minnesota Vikings. And with the 14th pick, the Minnesota Vikings, following up their Jefferson pick, go tackle with Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State. Joe, I feel like okay, go ahead. Talk to the people because I'm confused about this one a little bit.
6'6", 320 pounds. You need to get somebody in there. There's already been, a couple tackles already taken off the board. You need to bring somebody in to protect Kirk Cousins because Kirk Cousins already talked about his offensive line this offseason, and he said, if I die, I die. So they need to bring these guys in. They need to, I was thinking Tucker here from USC. That would have been a good one. I was also thinking defensive line. but I decided to go with Jenkins just because of everything I've been reading on him. I think he's going to be good. I think he'll be all right. I'm not going to say that he's going to be an elite tackle, but it's something there to give Kirk Cousins a little bit of protection to go along with those wide receiver core in that offense, and even Cook. Can we keep Cook healthy for 1 year?
Okay. The fourth tackle, though, in the first round, like I guess because I've not done as much draft research as the rest of you guys, okay? So, but I'm just looking at it. I'm like, wait, the fourth tackle, and we just had Mike talking about how people had Sewell falling. I just don't understand. You got to get tackles later, right? Is anybody else confused, or is it just me?
Me.
Nobody. Okay. All right.
Well, if you look at the Raiders situation, right, they had to cut their entire offensive line to get under the cap. Oh, I'm sorry, the Vikings situation. Well, they got Kirk Cousins at quarterback. That dude needs 10 minutes to get rid of the ball, even with Justin Jefferson at wideout. So I think it's a safe play pick for the Vikings.
Thank you.
I actually value the tackle position, but I'm not going to give you props, Joe. I want to know the explanation for why you wouldn't take Vera Tucker here, who I think might be the best interior offensive lineman.
I wanted to take Vera Tucker. I thought about it. I was thinking about it, but I don't know. For some reason, to me, didn't they lose like Reef this offseason, one of their tackles? So might as well get it. You build your offensive line. I think with the tackles, I'm more of a tackle guy because I think you can find offensive guards and centers all over the place and plug them in. It's harder to find a tackle, in my opinion. And this guy, I do like Vera, and I put him up on my own Instagram that I put up that I like him, but I don't know. I just had a feeling right now, and Jenkins was the guy.
I just feel they had other needs, though. I mean, it looked maybe a little too early for safety, but they need a safety. They need a cornerback. They need an inside linebacker. The Vikings need quite a few things, and I mean, tackle would be, probably the fourth need, maybe fifth. I mean, they even need an edge rusher. I mean, I know there's no elite edge rusher, but there's a couple out there that I might have considered at this pick. But hey, you got to protect Kirk Cousins coming off a career season, right?
I had to flip a coin right now, and it was between Phillips and Jenkins, the guy I took. I almost took the edge rusher and Phillips, and I was like, I'll go offense, protect Kirk Cousins because I don't want him to die on the field.
All right, guys, got to wrap this up because not even Minnesota Vikings fans want to hear about offensive line talk for this long. So here we go over to the Patriots, and the pick is in. All right, with the 15th pick, Bill Belichick, the evil genius. He's done it again, ladies and gentlemen. And Brian Bolster has brought so much life to this pick right here. They select, with the 15th pick, the QB from North Dakota State, Trey Lance. Brian, what do we talk to him here? I love this. I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's right. The Patriots just got the quarterback with potentially the highest ceiling in this entire draft class. He's an absolute physical freak. In his one whole year as a starter, passed for 28 touchdowns and zero interceptions, 0 turnovers, also ran for 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. This guy is everything that you want. He's kind of like Josh Allen, in my opinion, where he's got the arm strength. He probably has the strongest arm out of any quarterback in this draft class, but he's got the physical build to run when necessary. I don't think that he has to be schemed up in the same way that a Lamar Jackson has to. So he is a bit of a project. He is a little bit raw, but they have Cam Newton, so they can afford to sit him for a year. He's going into a situation where the Patriots have a great offensive line. They need to work on those receiving options, don't get me wrong. But then the defense is always going to be pretty steady. So I can't believe that he fell this far. I think if they get him, they're likely going to have to trade up. But, hey, this is our mock draft, and at 15, the New England Patriots. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Best pick so far.
Oh, man. I'm not going to disagree with that one, Bolster, because if this is the perfect landing spot because you get Cam, right? To sort of mentor him in for that, at least the first 8 games until the shoulder goes out. But he gets those games under his belt. And then the offense is actually similar because they can run that, like that same power run game, and they don't have to have too much expectations. Patriots are going to play defense and smash the ball down people's throats. Joe Skirter over here, our Jets fan, just looks nauseous about this pick. He's like, they didn't have to trade anything. They don't do anything. Everything happens for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Anything.
Oh, this would be worst case scenario. I think the Patriots are going to trade down, actually. And I actually predicted that a few weeks ago, that I thought they were going to try to trade down and grab a guy like Lance, and I really hope it doesn't happen. But if they got him at 15, that's just a cheat code. I don't see him there because I don't see I definitely don't see the Broncos not taking a quarterback, and that's just how I feel. I think they have to. So I think the Pats will have to trade down if they want to get Lance. But man, if they got him at 15, it just sucks.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I love that response. Rio, Piggy, I saw some faces being made when this pick happened.
Go for it, Rio.
Yeah, look, all Dolphins fans, Jets fans, and Bills fans united will be taking shots and kicking dogs or something like that if this were to happen. For them to be getting franchise quarterbacks at 15s or potential franchise quarterback at 15 and not having to, sell their future and draft picks and assets would be criminal at this point. So, I'd be extremely pissed if this were to happen. I don't have any dogs, by the way.
I was just going to say, what's her name? McLaughlin just reached out to me on behalf of PETA and told me to stop the broadcast. We got the Cardinals on the clock, waiting for the pick coming in here from 7. Whenever, okay, all right. So that just happened. It just came in. Ask and it shall be answered. If I could hit the right button. Get your stuff together, Tucker. Okay. And with it looks like the 16th pick, the Arizona Cardinals have drafted. I don't have a position here, but he sounds like a defensive guy. Cornerback. Thank you. The little voice in my head told me that. Caleb Farley from Vatech. All right, 7. Let's get a little analysis on this pick. Okay, well, he likes to play close to the vest. Okay, somebody here, tell me about Caleb Farley. Because unless he's related to Chris, I got nothing for you.
I got it.
Good pick.
Caleb Farley, man, is one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. I have J.C. Horn rated number 1 for me, what I seen on film. But, and then you got Surtain, that's a great tackler. Farley, he's falling because of an injury, but this is a great pickup. I mean, they don't have, their number 1 cornerback has been there for a very long time for the Arizona Cardinals. They're building up a special defense right now, made some nice free agent moves, and, via trades and all that with J.J. Watt. But adding someone like Farley, man, is a great pick. Cornerbacks are getting paid a lot of money, but the 7th year, so let him take it away.
Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took the cornerback. He's a top talent. He's right up there with Surtain and Horn. I believe Mike mentioned the injury history, but getting him at 16, it's kind of built into the value. It's a desperate need, and I felt like there weren't any receivers, which was listed as another need for the Cardinals. I didn't feel like there was a receiver that needed to be taken at 16. I'm not a big fan, and I don't think they're a big fan of taking running backs in the first round. You see what happened when they took Beanie Wells back from Ohio State a while ago. There is some risk built into it, but it addresses a big need. I believe they lost Patrick Peterson to Minnesota. So I took him there at 16. Hopefully he stays healthy and he'll be a cornerstone for that defense.
Yeah, no, I like this pick for them to focus on the defensive side of the ball a little bit more. I'm just not sure. I'm not as big on Arizona's chances for being as great as everybody else seems to be. Tough division, and they keep adding older and older people, right? If I remember being young when you were drafted, your time in the NFL is probably done. Okay, we got the Las Vegas Raiders on the board, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of excited to watch Joe, ruin this pick.
There's so much pressure, so much pressure right now.
This guy, if anybody can help me out here on this one, this guy that was just drafted here, that he had Farley, if he wasn't injured, would he be up there with Surtain and JC? Is it that sort of talent?
That's why this is a really good pick, in my opinion. This is where I want him to go. I want him to go to the Cardinals at 16. I feel like right here is a good spot for the Cardinals. The Cardinals got to draft defense. Like you said, they're in a tough division. You got Russell Wilson and those receivers up there in Seattle. Matthew Stafford just went to Los Angeles, so their offense just got a little bit better. So I think this is a good pick. The Cardinals got Buda Baker up top. They got guys on the D-line, obviously picking up J.J. Watt. Linebackers are pretty solid. So cornerback, I think, is the clear answer. And I think Caleb Farley has the potential to be one of the better corners in this draft class, if not the best corner in this draft class. It's just the injury concerns. I think the risk reward here at 16 for the Cardinals, perfect spot for him to go. If he doesn't go here, he's going to go to the Raiders, and I just don't want to see that. So
yes,
I don't know. I'm thinking he might slip. Honestly, maybe even out of the first round. I really do. I know he by many, and again, I'll bring up Daniel Jeremiah. I like him a lot. He and most people coming into this process had Caleb Farley as the number one cornerback. He's an athletic freak. He's got everything that you could possibly want, but the back surgeries, man, there's high reward possibility here, but it's high risk. Back injuries, that scares me a lot for such a quick twitch position.
Yeah. Piggy, did you want to get in, or are you just adjusting the chair there?
Oh, just in the chair, brother.
Oh, okay, just making sure.
I agree with Ryan too. I think he might drop as well, and especially with corners. That's fast pace. You're going fast pace. You gotta put your head down. You gotta make tackles, and if you got that back injury, that's going to take away with that athleticism that he does carry. So I'm worried as well. I think it's a good pick, though. I would take the risk, and if I'm the Cardinals, that's a position of need. But definitely high risk, high reward, and let's hope he stays healthy. Because if he's healthy, I think he's definitely talented enough. He's very talented. We've seen it. This is a big playmaker, and that the Cardinals could use and make that defense even more scarier, and that could be a team to watch out for. But the injury is definitely a little bit of a concern, even though I like the pick.
Yeah, so the kind of split on that one. I'm interested to see where this guy ends up, but we have the pick in from our lovely Raiders fan here, Joe Morley. What happened? Joe Morley selecting for his Las Vegas Raiders with the 17th pick. Yep, there it is. Stay in your game. Offensive tackle from Stanford, Walker Little. Okay. No clue who this guy is. Joe, in love with offensive tackle. Joe, we did a mock draft, and you're drafting offensive tackles. Okay, so what do we got here?
I'm not being cute. I'm not paid to be cute, to come on here and be like wide receiver, another wide receiver. I'm here to build this offensive line for the Raiders. Rio mentioned it earlier. The Raiders had a bad offseason where they got rid of a lot of offensive line. They still got a good one, but they need an offensive tackle. Walker Little is probably one of the underrated tackles in this draft. And I know you guys are going to say, what about Aaron Tucker? What about all this? Walker Little, without the COVID season, probably would have been the top tackle in this draft. He has great footwork. He knows what he's doing. He's intelligent. He picks up the blitzes correctly. This guy is going to be a great ad, and he's a John Gruden grinder. So Walker is going to the Raiders.
Okay. I agree. You guys got rid of Gabe Jackson for some what? You got some compensation and Rodney Hudson. I had you on the show when the Raiders are basically just like foraging through all of their offensive line. So I get why you would make this selection. I just don't know him, and it's hard for me to be excited about offensive linemen beyond Penei Sewell. Well, that's just me. Anybody else? How do you guys feel about this pick with the Raiders? Anybody would have went a different direction?
I mean,
Al Davis is turning in his grave right now.
Joe Skirdo, go.
Yeah, I mean, I think offensive line is a big big need. But again, we could go back and say there are starting caliber offensive linemen in the later drafts. I think Rashad Bateman would have been an unbelievable pick here. I think you got to give Carr weapons, right? And I know Joe's sick and tired of hearing people that Carr isn't a good quarterback. Look at the weapons he's had over the years. Nothing. So give this guy a receiver. And I think if you had Bateman, you had Renfro, you had Ruggs, and then you had John Brown, that would give him more than enough and no more excuses. So I would have win wide receiver just because there's no Bateman tier receivers in the second round. There will be maybe a little esque guy in the second round.
Yeah, and especially in the way this mock draft is going, there's no depth left in offensive line for the second round. Again, not a super savvy draft guy here, but there's been like 18 offensive tackles taken. Everybody keeps talking about this guard, this Vera Tucker. But I think you guys are just trolling my last name.
A very deep offensive line draft. Offensive line and wide receiver, a very deep draft. Yeah, we might be reaching, or I might be reaching because I'm taking most of them, of these offensive tackles, but if you want to build your offensive line, this is the draft you're going to do it. There's some great guys, some good talent there to do it. Yes, I wanted Bateman. I was so close to taking Bateman, but how many? I don't want to take another wide receiver with the Raiders. I saw it last year. I am a big believer in the wide receivers that they took last year, in Ruggs and Edwards. I think Edwards is going to come on, and you guys are a little underrating him with the Raiders. So that's why I went with the offensive tackle right here. Hey, that is giving Carr a weapon right there. That's giving Carr the time to stand up and not get knocked down.
The Broncos are going to kick the crap out of the Raiders next season. I can't wait for it.
At least he didn't say the Chargers. You see how he didn't say the Chargers?
Yeah, that wasn't. I feel like that wasn't confident there, Mike. You had an opportunity to be like, we're going to absolutely stomp you next year, and instead you went with the Denver Broncos and Drew Lock. Which I guess is more of a slap in the face, but
well, it should be Trey Lance, but yeah, Drew Lock.
We have the pick in for the Miami Dolphins. This one coming from Rio. At 18. At 18. People getting hyped here. Look at this. The crowd goes nuts for the running back from the Alabama Crimson Tide, Najee Harris at 18. Okay, let's go. You talk about this one before I blabber more.
All right, so the last season, Dolphins had a terrible running game, right? Gaskins, as good as he was, isn't an elite running back by any means. At best, he's a third down back. Najee Harris is by far the number one running back on the board. He's an Alabama guy. They have that chemistry with Tua. He's also a very good receiver out of the backfield. Best compliment to a young quarterback is a solid running game. I think he provides that. So I think it's an easy pick. If he's there, I'm running to the table and taking it.
Okay. Does anybody else debate the pass catching ability, or is he a good pass catching back? Is that one
I think he is a good pass catching back. I think he's an absolute freak. I just think running back at 18 is outdated. I think that they can wait. They could trade back and get him more towards 30. He is going to go in the first round. I feel pretty confident about that because, like you said, he is head and shoulders above the next running backs. But that's a lot to put in a running back. Again, the one, I guess, leeway I'll give you is you're not paying him huge money. So I'd rather draft a running back high as opposed to extend one.
Yeah.
So the reason why the Dolphins would take him there, though, Pittsburgh needs a running back. The Jets need a running back. And they're immediately behind him within the next 5 picks. So if the Dolphins fall too far back, he won't be on the board, I don't think. And Buffalo would also jump on a running back. So last year, the Dolphins missed on a running back by waiting to the end of their second round pick to try to get one. And Dobbins got picked right before them. I don't think they make that same mistake this year.
Well, so we have a comment on the board right here. We are waiting for, it looks like Washington's on the clock. So we have a comment that I think is kind of interesting because it says that he doesn't think a running back, this comes from the fantasy football therapist, he doesn't think a running back is worth a first round pick anymore. To me, I think it's the right kind of running back. If you get somebody who has the dual threat ability, you shouldn't be looking for Derrick Henrys anymore. If you stumble into AJ Dillon or something, that's one thing. but you should be looking for the guy that has the versatility, sort of like a young Le'Veon Bell, and get him from the draft. Don't offer him a bunch of money like McCagnon or whatever happened. What was your boy's name, Joe? Help me out.
Mike McCagnon, you were spot on.
Thank you. Yeah, that
Loser.
so glad that guy's fired.
Just pick it on Joe.
Gosh,
And I mean,
that guy's the worst.
I thought his name was He Who Shall Not Be Named.
Yeah, right. I mean, if I say his name 3 times, he might pop up behind me like the boogeyman or something. I don't know, man.
I think we got to keep the situation in mind here. Like Rio was saying, the Steelers or the Jets or even one of these other teams are probably going to take this guy if the Dolphins don't take him at 18. So everyone's hating on him for picking him at 18, but really they're just preventing from not being able to get him at 28 or 27, wherever they would have to move back and get him. And think about it. They'll get Najee Harris with the 18th overall pick, a running back, a need that they have, and they're getting Kyle Pitts with the 6th overall pick in this mock draft. Man, I like it, Rio. Don't listen to them, man.
Hey, let me add something to that too. So Najee Harris and Devontae Smith, they went to the Senior Bowl, coached by Brian Flores, right? And the offensive coordinator Studsville worked with Najee Harris. So when they showed him the playbook, Harris said, "Hey, I know all this. I know everything in this playbook. Just the terminology is different." So Najee Harris knows the offense of the Miami Dolphins already, and the Dolphins already came out and said, "Hey, we don't care if we draft somebody. We don't care if we're reaching, quote unquote. We're getting our guy." So the Dolphins are pretty. The writing's on the wall, and they like Najee Harris. They're in love with him. I don't want him at 18, but I understand if we took him at 18 because I see Adrian James. I see a guy that could, be a game changer. Could pass block, could catch the ball, could run the ball, and in an offense like this, and he knows the playbook. Man, I think it's almost a slam dunk. I just would want to take him a little later.
Let's be honest, Piggy. He plays running back, man. I don't think picking up the playbook is like, I don't know, it's power, it's zone. Especially nowadays, it's zone, man. It's zone left, it's zone right. But I agree with everything else that you said. And again, I think that the Dolphins probably will pick him here.
Hey, I mean, I understand that. You can plug and play. I definitely understand that. But just if you can have somebody that understands it and could, even teach other people around them in that running back room, you know what I mean? That could, give some insight. I don't know, man. I like the pick. And you play with Tua. There's chemistry there. You want your young quarterback to be comfortable with guys that he's maybe played with in the past. So, hey, why not?
Tua's a stud. I'll go ahead and say that for you Dolphins fans. Tua's a stud. I've never seen a quarterback get so much hate. All he did was win and take care of the football. I mean, dang.
Yeah.
And to Rio's credit, we're not allowing trades in here, so I'm sure he might have traded back to get him at a better value. But yeah, like he said, you have to take him at this point because there's other teams looking for it. And I don't like running backs in the first round either. But I see why the Dolphins are taking him. They're a young team, and that's one of the positions that they need. So I'll go with that.
All right, we got to move on here, guys. And the pick is in for the Washington football team, and I am taking this as a personal troll job on me. I'll explain more after this. Okay, here we go. And with the 19th pick in this mock draft, the Washington football team selects Mac Jones. Okay.
Mac Jones.
There it is. He's off the board, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I think this is the personal troll is because he knows how much I love Taylor Heinicke, and I want this kid to get some reps. And we all know that, obviously, if you can get the future and he's not, whatever. But I want Taylor Heinicke. Mac Jones. Go ahead, Brian. Here we go.
Hey, the Washington football team with no name, has plenty of needs. And there's a lot of people that really think they might come out of that division this upcoming season. They very well might. And I know that's going to lean people towards drafting, a wide receiver, even though they just brought in Curtis Samuel. They need a tackle. But if Mac Jones falls to them at 19, Ryan Fitzpatrick, sorry, man, it's going to be deja vu. You're getting replaced by an Alabama quarterback in week 6. It's going to happen. It's going to be the same exact thing. And I'm just Mac Jones. I get some of, the slander that I see. But to me, I'm a sports gambler, right? One good thing of sports gambling is fade the public. anything that the public is like on board with, do the opposite. And in all these quarterback rankings, everybody's like, Mac Jones sucks. He's the last one. Which then, and hey, to be fair, I had him the 5th guy as well. But you know what? If everybody thinks it, you know what? The public's probably wrong. And at 19th, you get, I think, good value here. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Hey.
19th pick, he's probably going 3rd overall.
Okay. Your theory works the other way too. You get it, right? Because everybody was on Jamarcus Russell or whatever to bring back my boy at the Raiders here. Like, it works both ways. Like, it could be.
That's what I'm saying. Fade the public. Everybody wanted Jamarcus Russell. Fade. He's going to stink. Now, the argument would be Trevor Lawrence, right? Everybody thinks Trevor Lawrence is a great thing, or like Andrew Luck. Obviously, it works out some, but I just think fading the public it's not a bad move.
And gambling.
No,
that's what the draft is, right? The draft is gambling. It's multi-million-dollar gambling.
True.
Yes. Oh man. Never mind. Sorry. I saw my name pop up here in the chat. Argue amongst yourselves, because I agree. Brian is right. The draft is gambling. I've had extensive sort of chats online with Brian about the fact that like everybody freaks out over draft picks. It's like, you don't know what you're getting. Then you have to factor in injuries and, maybe they get a little, booger sugar habit once they get a bunch of money. It's like, you have no idea what you're getting when you draft some of these guys. And it's like, are we allowed to say that on this network? Okay.
Yes.
I just got Paul pierced. It looks like the pick is in for, goodness gracious, pick number 20 with Chicago, right? Is that who it is? Yes, it is.
The Bears.
We got this. And number 20, the Chicago Bears are selecting. And right now, the Chicago Bears are very pissed off because they missed out on Mac Jones. But the Chicago Bears in this draft have selected offensive lineman Vera Tucker from USC. Okay. You guys all know how much I love interior linemen. Let's dig deep into this one. Come on, Piggy Bank.
All right. So the Bears wanted a quarterback. They wanted Mac Jones, but hey, he's off the board. It happens. So they have a lot of needs, but one of the major needs that they have is the offensive line. And hey, Tucker is one of the best offensive linemen that should have been taken earlier, in my opinion, but he falls here at 20. Let's go get it. And yeah, man, just protect Andy Dalton and Bill Lazor's offense, which I don't know. We could have selected. I mean, too bad we can't select a head coach or a GM here, but hey. What can we do, man? So we're just going to go with the best offensive lineman on here, and Tucker is that dude for me, man.
Fight on. Let's go.
That is hilarious. Like, if they could just replace, we're going to select a GM from get rid of Ryan Pace. That'd be great. I would love that. The Bears just need a quarterback.
Stink.
Is anybody else with me? Like, is the only team that's never had a great quarterback? Maybe the Jaguars, but at least they're getting Trevor Lawrence.
Now they had Burnell. Burnell was cool. I don't know who the hell the Bears ever had. I mean, is Cutler the best quarterback that they ever had? I think that's fair. Yeah, and that's not saying much.
Well, I mean,
and he was the best quarterback with
Jim McMahon. 85.
Rex Grossman played in a Super Bowl. Caleb Haney. Like, it's just been a long list of just not so good. And I have some Bears fans coming from the Midwest that I grew up with, and I had one friend who would text me, and he's like, "We're getting Russell Wilson," and I was like, "Where'd you hear that?" And then they end up with Andy Dalton. He has not returned one text since that sign happened. Oh my goodness!
Red Rifle Man.
Although, does anybody think that's going to work out? Does anybody think that's going to be good? We got Vera Tucker for Andy.
Everybody seen Christmas Story? You gotta be careful with that red rifle. You shoot your eye out.
I love it. Who's even on the clock right now? We got Indiana. I'll be optimistic. You want to get in there? No.
What was that?
Andy Dalton led the Bengals to 5 straight playoff appearances. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, no, we can hear you, but
My connection is horrible.
no, and I believe that you're about to say positive things about Andy Dalton, and I've just been informed right now we are not allowed to do that on this show. So we're going to go ahead because the pick is in. I'm so sorry, Seven. I love you, man. That was such
everybody, you just kicked him right off too. You're like, bye, Seven.
we all just met. I'm nice. I promise. The Indianapolis Colts and Joe Skirdo has taken wide receiver Rashad Bateman from Minnesota. Somebody fun. Yes. All right, Joe. What do we got here?
Yeah, this is a pick to be excited about if you're the Colts and if you're Carson Wentz here. Because look at T.Y. Hilton, 1-year deal. He's done after that. You got him and Michael Pittman for the future. Then Wentz has no excuses. And not to mention a Jonathan Taylor, who I think is really going to be an absolute star in this league. So I was looking at the edge rushers. You know, it's tough to pass on it, but that's why you gave DeForest Buckner all that money. I think you got to go with the wide receiver here and have a 3-headed monster. So Bateman he does everything well. He's not a huge guy, but he could play everywhere. He could play in the slot. He could play outside. He's super athletic. He's a 3-year starter. It's not like he had one good year. And this is a legitimate guy that could be one of the best receivers in the draft. I really do. I think he's getting slept on. I really don't see a huge difference between him and guys like Jalen Waddle. And I might sound crazy, but it's all on film. And this is a guy who I'm really excited about, and it would be an absolute steal for the Colts. So Rashad Bateman, I think it's going to be huge if he ends up in Indianapolis.
I love it. I love it.
I want to move to Rio real quick because he got a little sideways with you when you said there wasn't much of a difference.
I like his talent. He's the jack of all trades guy, right? Good route runner, not elite. Good speed, not elite. Good hands, not elite. To me, he's very similar. If I had to compare him, give him a pro comp, he's the it's escaping my mind, the wide receiver that the Jets just signed.
I like
Corey Davis.
Yeah, he's very similar to Davis, right? So I think he'll be a good pro. I think it's a solid pick, but I don't think he has the ceiling that some of these other guys have.
Dude, Corey Davis. Okay, this is the problem. When you get injuries, right? We have to factor it in. Corey Davis should be a beast if he doesn't get injured, and we've seen a little bit of it, and that's why I'm slowly becoming a Jets fan. I'm gonna put this thing on. Get over here.
Oh yeah, Brett Favre, whatever they called him in the draft. Brett Favre.
Yes, I like when you're compared to Corey Davis. To me, that's a good thing if you can stay healthy. Because the talent is there. So and I like this for Carson Wentz. You get him. I mean, now who else? They got a tight end, Mo Alley Cox and Pittman looked really good. USC guy. I think I'm good with this pick. Joe Morley, you said you wanted to say something.
I like this pick. I like it. I am a big fan of Bateman, and I know the knock is out on him, but I look what they said last year. Last year they said there was 3 wide receivers. The 3 went, and then Justin Jefferson went. I think Brian is kind of mad because the Titans are on the clock, and he has that pick, and it might have been a good fit there. I'm not sure if that's true or not, Brian, but I like this pick, and you given weapons to that offense that needs them, and we all know that T.Y. Hilton isn't the same guy he used to be, so he's back on a 1-year deal. And you need to find somebody opposite of Pittman, and I think this is a good one. I like it.
And another offense that could use weapons is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, and this is a great time for me to promote the show Friday Night Wars, where you can see these two gentlemen, Mike on the mic and Joe Morley Sports, taking little digs at each other like this, right? Because he just
Joe's
told
just
them.
catching strays out there, man.
Yes.
It is what it is. Hey, everybody's jealous. Everybody wants to be a Raider fan, and when they can't, they like their mom or something. Their mom and dad looks bad on them when they want to go, Mom, I want to be a Raider fan. And then they have that parent's like, hey, you're not going to be that Raider fan, son. So then they have to become the hater, and that's what it is. Mike became the hater and the Raider hater, and I'll take it. I'll take everything.
No, being a Raiders fan, it's like being a fan of Kiss. It's like old dudes with shoulder pads and face paint and everything. Like, there's nothing punk rock about being a Raiders fan anymore. Come on. It used to be cool. I don't know. It's close.
I'm still cool.
You are cool. I'm just saying the idea of being a Raider fan, I'm not sure that it is what it was. Like even a decade ago when I went to a game and I was terrified of grown men with spiky shoulder pads.
I'd rather have 0 Super Bowls in Los Angeles for my entire life than be a Raiders fan for 5 minutes.
You'd rather wear that powder blue instead of the silver and black.
100%. Yes.
You're in luck, Mike, because you're gonna get that.
Oh, that's just funny. we got the pick in at number 22 for the Tennessee Titans. And the Tennessee Titans with the 22nd pick take Rondell Moore, the wide receiver from Purdue. I didn't really know a lot about this guy, and then somebody sent me like a couple clips online. I was like, oh, this guy, he's going to be a player. Go ahead, Bray.
Hey, Rondell Moore, he's really, really fast. And I'm a little upset at Joe for taking all the offensive linemen. That's the direction that I wanted to go here. They're all gone. So you know what? I'm going to pull a Raiders and take the fastest player in the draft. Rondell Moore, absolutely explosive as a pass catcher. They're going to get him involved in the running game as well, and then obviously the return game. But as a true freshman on the lowly Purdue team in the Big Ten, absolutely lit them up over 1,200 yards. He's been injured, and that's the reason that he's going to fall probably to the late first round, possibly early second, but somebody's going to reach up and take this man because he is absolutely explosive. A little bit of high risk, high reward, and if he hits, you're going to start hearing a lot of the Tyreek Hill comparison, which, then the haters are going to say John Ross. But in my opinion, Rondell Moore is so much more versatile than a John Ross that I think, even though it's a little bit of a reach at 22, this is a big-time selection that's going to keep my Tennessee Titans as a high-flying offense for the third year in a row without Arthur Smith.
Okay. Anybody else as high on Rondell Moore as Brian here?
I'm just really happy that he didn't slide all the way to 32 at the Chiefs, man. I'll be very upset if he falls that far. Piggy, we're having some technical.
Yeah, no, we just got to unmute his mic here. He's got to do it on his end. You got to.
Oh. All right, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I love Moore, man. Moore is an excellent pick here. The guy is explosive. I know he's small, man, but that dude is like Steve Smith-ish. I mean, this guy is hard to take down, and then that 4.3 speed, or with a 4.2, I don't know what he runs on, but I know it's fast. All right, I know he's a flash out there, and this dude's a yak machine. He can take it all the way to the house any given Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday. It don't matter what day it is, man. Moore is an excellent pick, man.
Hey, and guess what? He weighs more than Devontae Smith.
Oh, nice little jab there, Brian. I like it. But I think this is the perfect receiver. If the Titans are going to go receiver, they're going to want someone that can fly. A.J. Brown's a beast, obviously, but more for that play action when those teams come down to try and stop Derrick Henry. Tannehill can come off that play action and hit more down the sideline, man, or across the middle. It's going to be a fun offense to watch, that's for sure.
Let me add to that point. Jarvis Landry and Ryan Tannehill, man, were like this. So just imagine what he could do with someone like Moore.
No doubt. Him and A.J. Brown, that's explosive.
I like that from Bolster too. That is going to be. We saw it a little bit this year. I think it's going to take another leap. I like Piggy's about the Tannehill and Landry comparison too, because I mean you got to find something nice to say about the Adam Gase regime in Miami there. But we have the pick in for 23 from our Jets fan here. And and for what feels like the every other time in this draft, the Jets have selected an offensive lineman from the Ohio State University, Wyatt Davis. Here we go. More of that depth. This is Joe. Is this the guy that you want to take, or you think will take, or just you tell him?
I think best case scenario would have been Vera Tucker. I think that's a stretch, though. I think if the Jets were in this situation, I would probably trade back and then get Wyatt Davis, because I think 23 is a little bit of a reach here. You could even maybe get him at 34, but this is the position they need to draft. And I'll go as far as they got to draft a lineman in 23 and 24. This is a guy who could be an actual legitimate starting right tackle. He's really good when it comes to rushing, a rush attack, and that bodes well when you run a West Coast offense, because you know what the Niners do. They play all these different running backs. It's going to be designed to run the football. Getting a running back is a different story for the Jets. They'll probably get one down the road, but you can't take ETN here. You cannot take ETN here. I'm really against it. If they drafted him, I'm not going to sit here and complain, but this is the pick you need to make. Let this guy go along with Mekhi Becton, protect the quarterback, and do everything opposite. The way you built the team with Sam Darnold, you got to do everything opposite, and I think Wyatt Davis is a good pick. Like I said, though, I think you probably trade back, maybe get him at like 28 or 29 rather than 23, but this is a position they needed. They actually needed an offensive lineman here.
No, I agree. And I mean, if we're going to continue, if I'm going to continue body shaming guys who look way better than me, for being frail or whatever, Zach Wilson, I've heard, is a little small. So you want to get him offensive line. You definitely want to. I want to put those guys in front of me. I want the best offensive lineman that we can get. So I like this pick. And like you said, it could be up or down, but they need to go offensive line if you're getting a rookie quarterback. Anybody else? We got lots of
just a little small. You got to protect him.
He's 6'3". He'll put on some pounds. He'll be okay. He was like 6'2" and a half. 6'2" and a half. I think 6'3" on paper. I don't know. Maybe we'll get him some high heels. He'll be 6'4". We'll figure it out.
He's no Sam Darnold, right?
That's for sure. Sam Darnold, he's an actual 6'3". No, he's not a new wannabe.
Oh man! Every Wednesday, turn into the Sam Darnold half hour. It's a topical show.
We've officially met our Sam Darnold quota.
Seriously.
Hey, there's no limit.
His name.
There is no limit.
Sam Darnold actually just tuned in, guys. He's watching us.
No doubt. I'm his number one fan. He's my number one fan. It works.
It makes sense. He did have the under at 38.5 mentions, and so Sam cleared that with flying colors.
Don't talk about it.
You know what? I think that Mr. Skirto is building towards some potential GMing in his actual real future. But another good pick by the Jets here. We got the pick in at 24 for the Steelers. Let's and with the 24th pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who need everything from quarterback to offensive lineman to receivers who can catch the ball, take what is this? Is this offensive coordinator? Creed Humphrey
Center
from Oklahoma? No, what am I missing here? This is the center. Creed Humphrey from Oklahoma. I'm not even sure who made this pick. Whoever it's
I made the pick.
Rio.
Yeah,
All right,
so
let's go.
We had one of the Pouncey brothers retire. He filled the position for the Steelers for 10-ish seasons, right? Pro Bowler. Left a big hole in the middle of the line. You got Big Ben, who moves slower and slower, if you can believe it, every season. So he needs all the protection he can get. I really struggled with not taking a running back here because Travis Etienne is still on the board, and this is a team that, if you look at their running back depth, they don't have much there. I think they're, like Joe said, they're a trade back candidate, but I decided to fortify their offensive line and go with Creed Humphrey, who's had the best numbers of any offensive center in the last 10 seasons.
I don't know. I really like Creed Humphrey. Just sounds like a reliable guy. I mean, he'd move up my draft board just a little bit based on Creed Humphrey, the name alone. But as somebody who is like, I love the Steelers because that was my mom's team. I wanted the pick to come in as Travis Etienne because he reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, or he's just fun. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Other than this guy having a sweet name, I'm not that psyched about the pick, but I get it. It makes sense. They did lose a cornerstone of that position. It looks like we got Seven and Bolster both have opinions on this.
I guess I'm the resident Steeler fan of the Warzone Sports. It's not a sexy pick, but it's definitely a need. He's a monster. He's a mauler. Pouncey was an all-pro, multi-Pro Bowler. It's they have a lot of holes to fill, so I get the pick. I don't know where I would have gone with it because I didn't do research for him, but I'm not mad at it as a Steeler fan. If he actually goes there, I wouldn't be mad at it. The all line is they're stable. You know, they need to get back to playing defense and running the ball, and that's the start of rebuilding and keeping the O line in contact.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a pick for need. Tony, I don't blame you for not knowing the name. I believe he's projected to go in the third round. And, hey, he may end up being a great center. I don't know anything about Creed Humphrey, to be quite honest with you. But, hey, it's definitely filling a need.
No, I like that. And thank you for making me feel better about being like, I've never heard of this guy. But it is – I don't know. You guys, the next person who takes an offensive lineman gets muted. I'm going to turn into Tony Reali, and you're just getting muted. The next person who takes an
There's always one offensive lineman that goes high in the draft that nobody knows about, and then turns out to be some kind of stud. It always happens. People, was it the Dallas Cowboys when they took Fredrickson? That people were like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And then he became one of the best. So I'm not knocking the pick. I don't knock any offensive line pick because, hey, if you don't have an offensive line, you ain't gonna win. Just ask Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Hang on. I'm getting a text message from Tony Mandrich's dad. For our younger viewers, you're gonna need to Google that one. We have the pick in for the 25 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, here we go for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We have Azeez Ohulaharari. I butchered that name, even though Mike was kind enough to put out the alliteration. I forgot to tell you, Mike, I was a bad reader and still am. So go ahead, talk to us about this young man whose name I just crushed.
Ojulari.
Ojulari.
Azeez Ojulari, man. And I just want to point out to everyone watching at home, yes, Jalen Phillips is on the board. Yes, Kwity Paye is on the board. I think Azeez Ojulari is the best edge rusher in this draft class, and I truly believe it. Now, will the Jaguars pass on those two guys for him? I don't know. I'm not the pro, obviously, but the dude is a monster. He comes at opponents like a bull and just rams right through, pulling guards and tackles at times. Strength is a strength for this kid, and what impressed me most about Azeez is seeing what he does when blockers do get him engaged. He almost always rips them off and makes the right read, gets to the right side of them, and makes the tackle. This guy's going to be a game wrecker with his style of play, and I think in 2 to 3 years, a lot of people are going to agree with me. This guy's the best edge rusher out of this class.
All right. I mean, clearly, I don't. Somebody else take the mic. Here we go. Talk about this guy for a second.
I think taking that one was, I don't know, it's just because I don't like Mike, but could have been a little bit of reach because I do like Phillips there. But I think Jacksonville right there. I think they would have took the safety. I think putting Moerig with who they bring over from Seattle from your Chargers. I can't think of his name. Rayshawn Jenkins. Putting Rayshawn Jenkins with another young rookie would have been a great choice at that point. So that's where I would have been.
Okay. All right.
I think you're underrating Rayshon. Rayshon's a beast. I just want to point it out.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying putting them next to each other. They're going to work together.
Isn't Morrig also a free safety though? I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter in the NFL. It doesn't matter.
It does.
Yep.
Doesn't-
All
it
The
right.
doesn't matter.
sneaky thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars is, unlike a lot of the really bad franchises like, let's say, the Lions, the Jets, they actually draft really well. Like, look at the Jacksonville Jaguars draft picks and the New England Patriots over like the last 7 years. It's crazy. The Jacksonville Jaguars, you would have to think, if you put somebody in a time machine from the past and brought them in, they would be like, oh yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars, that was the team winning the Super Bowls, not the Patriots. Absolutely crazy.
Unless it's a quarterback.
No doubt, which those matter a little bit.
And those days are over. We got Goldilocks God coming.
We got pick 26, right? Yes, Cleveland Browns. Pick 26 is in. Okay. We are going with Jeremiah Owusu, outside linebacker from Notre Dame to the Cleveland Browns. I like this pick. Focus on defense. They already have a dominant running game, which I've compared to the early 90s Dallas Cowboys. You will all see that come to fruition. They'll get the passing game going. They're going to play great defense. Cleveland Browns will be they're my pick to go to the Super Bowl next year. All right. So who made this pick?
7.
Who we got here? 7. 7. Are you with us?
I am.
7. All right. The people want to know why you picked Jeremiah Owusu.
On the big board, he's considered a top 20 pick. I'm surprised that he made it this far. I know a lot of linemen have gone early. So I guess as a Browns fan for the moment, I'm happy that he made it this far. Guy's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. He can line up on the line. He can line up in the box. He can, you can move him around everywhere. The Browns had a desperate need for linebacker. They had 5 pending free agents in the linebacker position. So they address a need without having to move up, and they get one of the better linebackers in the draft, I believe.
I think that they got to continue to add defense, right? Because the offense isn't the issue. I think somebody probably knows better than me, but I think they've already addressed some of the needs in the secondary. Didn't they get the guy from the Rams, Johnson or something? So, like, if they can add more, anything they can add to make Myles Garrett more dominant at the position, I think they need to do it.
Yep.
All right.
I like that pick a lot. He's kind of the guy I was up and down with Aziz a couple picks ago. I just got a little love affair with Aziz this season, even though his name is so complicated to say. But I think it's be perfect for the Browns, and the Browns should be looking linebacker. So if Jeremiah falls all the way back to them, that's an absolute steal at 26. This guy's probably going to go 15 to 20, somewhere in that range. I'd love to see him go to the Saints also a couple picks later, but the Browns probably aren't going to let him slide that far.
Okay.
First of all, hold on. Oh, 1 second, Tony.
Yeah.
1 second. This is a great pick, an absolute great pick. They need a linebacker. He's got high potential. Now, he's a bit of a project. It's some high risk, high reward. But for me, first round picks, you take swings for the fences, home runs. That's all I'm shooting for. But I've heard you mention it a couple times. I thought it was an accident at first. The Browns to the Super Bowl.
There it is.
What? The only time that happens is in a joke. I think we all know that joke. Come on, man. You know who their quarterback is? Come on, man.
I know who they're. Yes, the hater, the Baker Mayfield Haters Club president, Brian Bolster. Here's the thing: they will be able to do this despite him making it that much more glorious. I'm not a Cleveland Browns fan. I just think somehow the stars are going to align and the Browns are going to be in the Super Bowl. It's just a shot.
That's never happened.
Wild, man. I'd be getting blown up by so many people. I can't have that happen. I can't afford that.
But I also think it would be, you could make the argument that it wouldn't be necessarily because of him. Chubb and Hunt, I just think they're adding nice pieces to the defense. And I like Stefanski as stability. That's what nobody ever talks about with the Browns is like you need stability from the top down, and the Browns have never had that. When you get a coach that seems to have all of his faculties together, that's a great way to start winning some football games. No offense, I love Hugh Jackson. He's great. I wish things worked out for him there, but unfortunately it did. Okay, where are we at here? Who's on the clock? Joe Morley?
27. Pick number 27, the
Pick
Baltimore
number
Ravens.
27 is in. Here it is. And with the 27th pick, the Baltimore Ravens have selected defensive end Jalen Phillips from Miami, University of Miami, or Miami of Ohio. I think it's the former. Here we got Joe Morley with this pick. Joe, talk to us about this one. Thank you for
he's from the U. He's from the U. 9 sacks last year, 29 hurries, 6'5", 266 pounds. And I like to always tell you how big these guys are because, hey, if you ain't got the size, you're not going to play in the NFL. You put him on the Baltimore Ravens defense, and he's going to shine. And this guy's fast. He's going to do whatever they need to. And the Baltimore Ravens defense just gets scarier.
Yeah, no, I love it. Every time you start, I feel like it's going to be like from 6'6" from North Carolina. I always feel I'm like, is Michael Jordan being introduced in the middle of an NFL draft? Okay, somebody help me out with this one because this is another person that I'm not.
So I'm a big University of Miami fan. Jalen Phillips is originally UCLA commit. The red flags on him are all medical, right? So he had several concussions at UCLA. He actually medically retired at UCLA before he transferred to Miami. So a lot of people have him high on the board because of how well he performed. But the red flags are there. I think he's a day 2 pick, early second round pick, but I wouldn't be shocked if somebody took him late in the first round because the talent speaks for itself.
Got to take talent. First round talent.
And it definitely feels
he's a physical freak. He's somebody who's basically played 1 year of football in college. Like it's a pretty crazy story. That's when you know somebody's talented. Like my man Rio said, he went to UCLA, retired, and then was like, yeah, actually, you know what? He messed around with music and was like, I think I'm going to come back and play football. And he very well might be a first round pick. You know, that's just incredible.
That is an interesting story to me, but also it makes me worried if I'm a GM. Like, where's his commitment level at? You know, like that part bothers me. We are waiting on the New Orleans Saints are on the clock here, and it looks like that pick is in. Let's get it. The New Orleans Saints with the 28th pick have selected cornerback Greg Newsome from Northwestern. Okay. Smart guy, obviously. I don't know. Come on. Northwestern. Here we go. Michael Wilbon would go on for days about this guy, but I'm not Nike Dubs. Piggy, let's hear about it.
All right, man. So we all know the Saints had to get under the cap, 120 mil over. They had to cut a lot of players, restructure contracts, all types of things. They lost some, in the secondary, and I think Newsome is one of the best cornerbacks. I mean, I know there's about 4 or 5 guys that I really, really like, and Newsome is one of them, man. And I think that he will fit real well with the Who Dat Nation, and I think the Saints got themselves a baller at the cornerback position, as going to be making plenty of plays. And when you got Tom Brady over there, man, you got to do something. So, hey, Greg Newsome, the pick for Who Dat Nation. Saints fans, rejoice.
No, I like this. I think that they have enough weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Like, why not? If you can get a defensive player, then you should. Bolster, Mike, we got smiles. What's happening?
I just love that Piggy has a hat for every team, man. He came prepared. He wasn't playing around. Like, we can't have the draft prospects here, so he's going to slap on that cap. That's awesome, man.
We need to get him a cutout of Goodell.
Yeah,
right. He can shake Goodell's hand every pick.
Have him walk across the stage. Oh, this is an interesting one. Oh man, Jordan Love going right here again. Can we draft him twice?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's too bad the football team drafted Mac Jones, huh?
I thought Piggy was going to go Greg Rousseau, defensive end at the University of Miami, because they could use another edge rusher, because you got Brady in the division. But going and solidifying the back end of the defense is a good pick as well.
Yeah, I also think that there might be some concerns. Marshawn Lattimore's
They just
contract
lost
coming up.
Janoris Jenkins, so I think it's a great pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Marshawn Lattimore's contract coming up next year. He's going to want max money. Can the Saints afford to give him max money? And can Greg Newsome maybe replace him? We'll see.
All right, we got pick number 29 in for the Green Bay Packers, courtesy of Rio. And the Packers select cornerback from Florida State University, Asante Samuel Jr. Another junior? Okay.
Yeah.
If he's anything like his dad, great pick. I love it.
Yeah, man. Samuel Jr. has the pedigree. He's been coached up really well at Florida State on a lot of boards. He's a top 5 corner. Green Bay obviously in need of cornerback help. If you didn't see that in the playoffs last year, go back and look at the film. So I think he fits a need, especially with the run on linemen that went earlier in this draft. He just seemed like the best need and fill for the Green Bay Packers.
You do know they have Kevin King, right?
That's one side of the ball, brother.
They got King over there. Isn't that the guy who gave up that long touchdown to the Tampa Bay?
Gave up a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian, get on the
time
point.
they re-signed him, he has to be good, right?
Hey, now he was getting roasted by the GOAT. I don't care what age. So, I mean, give the man a break. Come on. Can we all give Kevin King a break?
Mute.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yes, he did. He did get he got played by Tom Brady, as many people have. Although Asante Samuel was part of the reason Brady won some of those early Super Bowls, right? Is this is the same Asante Samuel,
Same
the
one.
older one who played for the Patriots and the Eagles and
The father.
yes, everything else. Goodness gracious, my life's falling apart.
Tony
On the
showing
clock,
his age right here.
yeah, on the clock we have Buffalo. Buffalo. Asante. So Green, like real quick, since pick 30's not in, we're waiting for it. I just want to talk to any Packers fans watching out there. Was like I read a quick story where it was like, do the Packers need to recommit to Aaron Rodgers? And I was like, when did they commit to Aaron Rodgers? Like, we haven't really noticed who they're drafting, and then they drafted Jordan Love. Like, when was the first? Did I miss the first commitment? Does anybody else think that they've just done Aaron Rodgers dirty?
I mean, they committed to him financially, right? They paid the man a lot, but they sure don't like giving him weapons.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams,
One
Jordy
guy.
Nelson,
Well, Jordy Nelson wasn't
Aaron Jones.
Wasn't that like a
Number
toss
2
of
offensive line in the league. I mean, I've just never seen. Of course, they haven't been perfect, and the Jordan Love pick obviously looks pretty bad. And supposedly,
And Dylan.
reports out of their camps were like he sucks. But like the Packers are good. They've always surrounded him with really good supporting cast.
Jones was a 5th round pick. Nelson
But
was
he's good.
like 2 lifetimes ago for Rodgers.
He was, and I think
Okay.
Nelson is left over from the Favre era, I believe, like the Greg Jennings. I'm talking about since they got Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure outside of Devontae Adams how many of those people I think would be like great on other teams. And that's why I was kind of curious to see Aaron Jones go to a place like Buffalo or Miami or somewhere like that to see if he could still be a difference maker for another team, or how much of that is playing next to a guy like Aaron Rodgers. But I get it. I don't even like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I'm defending him. I'm a Brett Favre guy. I divorced the Packers in that divorce. I don't even like Aaron Rodgers.
I know where Aaron Rodgers lives though. Brian Porter's head.
Hey, man. Of course he elevates his receivers, no doubt.
Okay,
I just don't think – I mean, I feel like sometimes people act like he plays for the Lions instead of the Packers.
No, yes, I agree with you. I agree with you there. But I think he elevates them different. Like, imagine if he had Calvin Johnson. Like, don't we think that it would have been different than how it turned out with Stafford a few times? And we still think Stafford – at least I think Stafford's good.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to is we've never seen the Green Bay Packers go all in around Aaron Rodgers. Like we see the Buccaneers do last year. Like we see teams like the Kansas City Chiefs bringing in talent. And you don't ever see the Packers do that. And while he has had weapons that you can find success with in the regular season, it becomes very difficult, especially in the NFC where you've had Drew Brees there this entire time. You've had all these other guys there this entire time to compete with, and your team just hasn't gone all in for you. And his years are running out. He's 37 years old. His play style is very aggressive, moves around a lot, so his time is running out. And I feel like I wish I would have seen the Packers go all in at a trade deadline, go all in an offseason, add another guy that's a wide receiver one quality to the offense, something like that, to really lock them in as NFC champions.
Brian talks better about Sam Darnold than he does of Aaron Rodgers. Did you guys know this?
Hold on. It's about correcting the narrative, right? So, like, Aaron Rodgers gets plenty of love. He doesn't need any, support. Sam Darnold gets straight up slandered. You made me talk about him again. You made me. But, hey, Tony, you followed the Packers. You said, you're an old Favre fan.
Yeah.
They never win all in on Favre, right? Like, the Packers' MO is be conservative.
Thank you for taking me down this trip down memory lane. They never got jack for Brett Favre while he was there. They drafted guys, and then guys would show up like Donald Driver, and they'd be like, this guy's a Pro Bowler. I'm like, Donald Driver is a Pro Bowler because he plays with Brett Favre. Like, he was one of my favorite guys, right? They had all of these guys. I remember they had a guy named Jeff Janis on the team for a while, and they were like, they always had these dudes. And it was the same thing with Jordy Nelson until I was like, oh, no, wait, this guy's got track level speed. He's going to play for anybody or whatever. But nobody wants to go to Green Bay. If you've never been to Green Bay, if you don't live in Green Bay, it's just a small town. You're not going to get these guys coming from bigger cities, or even if they're from smaller cities. It's freezing cold, and it's different. I'm trying to find a nice PC way to say it.
That's the thing about the draft, Tony, is when you draft players, they have to go to Green Bay. So drafting a backup quarterback in the first round, head scratcher.
So
I'm gonna make a list.
Greg Jennings was drafted. Hang on real quick, Joe. Greg Jennings was drafted in Minnesota, drafted to Green Bay, played like 2 bad seasons in Minnesota, and chose to live in Minnesota, then where he won a Super Bowl and is loved in Green Bay. That's what he thinks of Green Bay. Go, Joe. I'm sorry.
Greg Jennings. You're going to bring up Greg Jennings and not say he put the team on his back. He put the team on his back.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Hey, I'm going to make a list right now of all the quarterbacks Brian says are better than Aaron Rodgers, right? So we're going to put Ryan Tannehill, Sam Darnold. So Aaron Rodgers to Brian is on the same level as Baker Mayfield, if all this is correct.
Oh, come on, man. Aaron Rodgers, number 2 quarterback in the league.
Okay. We'll take that.
The Bills are on the clock.
The Bills are on the clock, and the pick has been in for a while, but Roger Goodell was back in the green room getting some snacks. Okay, and the Bills at pick 30 have selected defensive tackle Christian Barmore from Alabama. This pick was selected by Mike. Let's go, Mike.
I love this kid out of Alabama. He's exactly how you like your defensive tackles. He's nasty. He's dirty. He's aggressive. He goes at it full speed every single play, and he plays with that kind of aggressive chip on his shoulder. And I love to see it. And I love to see your defensive tackle get a sack or get a big stop in the backfield on the running back and get up and dance. That's what I love to see from my defensive tackles. I think this guy will be a game changer for the Bills. And really with the Bills here, they're a team that's kind of right there at the cusp, right? So I think you just add a talent to your defense that's going to help you hopefully compete with guys like the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. I like this pick, and if he slides to here and the Bills get him, I would love to see it. He could slide into the second round also, but I think the Bills don't let him pass up here. I definitely don't want to see him go to the Chiefs or the Buccaneers after them.
I like the fact that you talked about his flavor a little bit and his dancing ability. We lose some of that the entertainment value, with some of these more high-profile defensive guys. I want to get back to you're a Titans fan. Javon Curse was like one of my favorite players ever. I named like a Madden team after the freak. The dances, the celebrations that some of these guys had. I want to see the big guy rubbing his belly. I want to see doing crazy inappropriate dances where I have to like shield my children's eyes. I'm like, what are you doing? Come on. This is NBC during the middle.
Raji.
Yes. Gilbert Brown. Well, I don't know. R.I.P. Gilbert. Is he dead? I should have looked. I don't do a lot of fact checking.
That's like a Rip Wade Boggs. Have you guys ever seen It's Always Sunny?
No.
I guess not.
I have, but this is the Wade Boggs episode, the drinking beers across the flight, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to drink 100 and then hit a home run and then eat like a whole chicken, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
R.I.P. Wade Boggs.
Yes.
He's alive.
He's alive. I tend to do that. Well, I mean, they named a burger, like a heart attack burger, after him at Burger King when I was a kid. So I'm just safely assuming he's no longer with us. It looks like I have the next pick, 31, in here. I've just been notified I will be relieved of my duties for the next live draft. Here we go. This is for... Wait, did I mess this up? No, I did. This is for the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're already here, and he did not disappoint. He went for all the hats. Greg Ruscio from Florida. Okay, Piggy, what you got?
Yeah, Greg Ruscio, man, he has a lot of talent. I mean, a little raw. He has some red flags, but high, low risk, high reward, man. For me, at the end of the first round, this is a Super Bowl caliber team, as they've been to the Super Bowl back-to-back years, and yeah, they need a pass rusher, man. You got to get after some of these guys. Quarterbacks are just getting more athletic, and why not add another pass rusher? I like Greg Ruscio a lot, man. With this value here, and he has a high ceiling if he gets it all together. But yeah, let's do it, Chiefs.
Piggy, let me ask you a follow-up question. Had Joe Morley not used all 5 of his picks on offensive linemen in this draft, would you have taken an offensive lineman for the Chiefs here?
Definitely.
Okay,
Definitely. Yeah. They needed a tackle. But I think Greg Ruscio has great value here, man. And, I think you get a tackle just a little later, maybe trade up in the second round to get your guy. But Greg Ruscio is a first-round talent in my eyes.
Can't have him offensive lineman because I took them all.
And a cornerback with the 4th overall pick. Let's not forget.
That's right.
Yeah, let's not forget that. See you on Friday night.
That's not. Hey, let me tell you, I came on here to make great picks, and I came on here to tell you what I would do as a general manager. I'm putting on game. This is basically my game film for NFL teams to be watching and go, Joe Morley is a great general manager. Let's go get that guy.
Yeah, no, I think there are a lot of offensive line coaches who are like, we love the way this guy thinks.
Yeah.
I love that mind frame, Joe. Like this is our game film. Right now, we're performing under the lights.
Hey,
this is
Gronkaneers, you're on the clock.
Hey,
man,
I got to give a pick in. All right, hey, you guys left me so many studs. All right.
With this game film, Mike could be the GM of the Jets.
Who?
Mike could, because he's not that good. He could be the GM of the Jets.
That wasn't funny, Joe.
Wasn't that McGagne's first name? Mike?
That wasn't good.
Okay, the Chargers. Either way.
There you go. That's a little better.
Either way.
Which pick did I pick a corner 4th overall at? I didn't see that in this. Maybe I missed
just a corner. That's one of the best corner. What was the hottest take Mike said that Chase could be a good wide receiver in this draft? Jamar Chase could be a good wide receiver in the NFL, guys.
He might be all right.
He had another one that I was gonna give another hot take quality too, but I forgot what it was. It's passed for so long. It was around one of his middle picks. Where were we at here?
That's probably the Chargers pick.
Mike got us burning up right now with that hot take.
It actually is hot in here. I got the air off, for sound quality purposes, so it is getting kind of warm. California sun. Like half of us know what it's like.
Yes, I'm roasting inside here. 2.5 hours. I'm out of coffee. I'm struggling, but the pick is in. The end is near. Here.
Oh,
and this pick for the Buccaneers will be made by the Vice President of Public Relations for the Buccaneers. Brian Bolster has selected wide receiver from Ole Miss. Kidding me? Elijah Moore. Okay, so just in case they don't get Antonio Brown, and they need behind Ray Mickens, Tyler Johnson. Oh, I like it. Go ahead and talk, spread some love to the Moore family here.
Yeah, this is the case of the Bucs going all in. They're in win now mode. So they need to draft players who can impact the most in their rookie season. Christian Barmore was kind of at the top of my list. He was sliding. He was falling like a rock. And then, honestly, even Trayvon Moehrig, the safety, that's a need for them as well. I thought about it, but you know what? I went for offense. Offense is what wins in today's NFL. So I went with Elijah Moore because you know what? They've got Chris Godwin on the franchise tag. So it's honestly kind of a move for the win now and the future. They aren't going to be able to pay Chris Godwin. So I think this is a big-time move for the Buccaneers. They brought all 22 starters back, and then you add a dynamic receiver to the mix. Like we mentioned, all the offensive linemen were picked. All the corners were picked. For some reason, the receivers, man, they're still there. So Elijah Moore, Tom Brady, back-to-back. Let's go.
But that's also good news for teams like the Patriots that need to add a little bit more depth at that position. But you make a good point because Godwin, they're not going to be able to keep long term. If they're doing this thing like let's run it back, we have Tom Brady for a year or whatever, you increase your chances of finding that replacement, right? Of putting him. And I think Mike Evans kind of is going to break down maybe a little bit faster than some of the other receivers that we've seen, in the league. Just bigger body, and I'm kind of already seeing it, but I'm saying this from a fantasy standpoint. Like he seems to be every week I have him. It's like hamstring this, soft tissue. So maybe you do start getting these kind of players. I hope.
Elijah Moore had 86 receptions and almost 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns in 8 games this year. Now, he is the guy with the infamous pee like a dog celebration to cost Ole Miss a game. That's the same dude. But, under that Tom Brady, culture, he's going to be all right.
Oh, I like that because now this adds to the myth that only Tom Brady could work miracles with him too. Just like what's going on with Antonio Brown. See, in college, this guy used to urinate on imaginary fire hydrants, but now with Tom Brady, he's in here and he's donating to the Make-A-Wish this Red Bell Foundation. Okay.
Just happy you didn't make an R. Kelly reference there.
No, Joe already busted me up for making fun of R. Kelly the other day. Okay, gentlemen, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for letting me in here and joining. Any of the remaining people watching this, please subscribe for all of our live shows and weekly shows at the Warzone Sports Network Live. Get it on YouTube. Check out the website. Follow these great creators at the different places that they're at. You guys are going to have to help me out with where that is because off the top of my head, after 2 hours of trying to be entertaining, I've got nothing left for you guys. So take it away, boys.
I'll go first. For my personal stuff, Mike on the Mic Sports across the board on every platform, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and everything in between. And then, of course, one of the members of the Warzone Sports Network. So go check us out there on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube as well. Warzone Sports Network. It's what you're watching now. It's what you're reading on the screen. Just hit that subscription and notification bell. So that way you know when we go live. we had a lot of fun doing this draft, and we're very interactive. So we love having a bunch of people in the comments. I think this was a success, fellas. Thanks for joining up and attending it.
Okay, Bolster, go next.
All right, I'll go ahead. Yeah, Warzone Sports Network. It's the hottest thing going. Sports Force on Wednesdays. Be recording a brand new episode for this week. It's going to be incredible. And again, check out that Warzone Sports Network, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Obviously, if you're here on YouTube, go ahead, hit subscribe, hit the notifications bell. We've got so many weekly shows coming for you. It's the best sports network out there.
Love it. Piggy, where you at, bud?
Well, hey, man. So you already know it's Warzone Sports Network. We're going to be dropping fantasy football boot camp in May. And, yeah, so you can find my personal stuff that I have 7 o'clock, my boy 7, to that be writing for Piggy at Piggy. Why am I fucking up my own thing? I'm sorry, my cousin over here. Piggy Bang Picks, on Instagram and follow us there. But definitely, we want to bring it all back to the YouTube page. So everyone go ahead and subscribe for the Warzone Sports Network. We have a great cast of people, man, and just dropping some top quality sports content.
Love it. Rio, you want to give any shout outs before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. You can find me at Blame It on Rio on Instagram and Twitter. You can also catch us at Zoned In Podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, that's all I got. Appreciate for you guys having me on.
Thank you for coming through. We got Joe Morley, the last one.
You guys already know Warzone Sports Network right here. Joe Morley bringing it every week on Friday Night Wars. I lead the Friday Night Wars Championship right now. I'm kicking Mike's butt every Friday night. So tune in, watch it because it's great. But Friday Night Warzone Sports is where you guys want to be. You guys can find me there, or you can find me at my own. But you want to stay on the Warzone Sports Network because so much is coming your guys' way. And I promise that I'll continue to beat down Mike. And if you guys like this, we're gonna have a part 2 of this. And I promise I won't draft offensive linemen again.
Thank you for that, gentlemen. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna go ahead, send us on out of here. Warzone Sports Network just had a first successful NFL mock draft. Let us know what you think of it. Share it with a friend. Cut out your favorite and worst picks. I'm sure they were all offensive linemen drafted way too early in this draft, but we appreciate you. There it is. I don't even know what we got. People just like dancing in here.
Joe, can we hit the music though?
You want this? You want to fade it out with one of these guys?
Let's do it.
Boom.